We just go from one thing to the next.
It's you, baby.
Is it me? All right, good. Everybody want to say thank you for joining us here tonight, this Tuesday evening on the show at Fish, North Georgia. Port Taco and Missouri guy up there, I want to go ahead and tell you guys thanks for joining in early. It's always a great thing to see Port Taco up there before everybody. I think it's something that he likes to do. That's his calling card. And for all and everybody that's going to be joining us over the next hour and a half, 2 hours, and watching this later on YouTube, we want to go ahead and say we appreciate you guys. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure that you give us a subscribe, click that notification bell so that you can be notified of any future content and such as that. And we got a really, it's kind of a different episode tonight. It's going to be a little two-parter. For the first part, we're going to talk about the Electric Elites in the 2022 season. We've got some good positive changes, we feel, got some growth coming on, and we're going to discuss that. Mr. Chris Gayton is here with me tonight, and so we're definitely going to do that. Yeah, we're going to get that schedule up right here in a second, but I'm going to make you wait a little bit. Got to make you work for that schedule there, Fishing Days. But again, interesting stuff, and a lot of this is fluid, but it is definitely time to go ahead and announce it and get excited. We're changing the landscape a little bit, I think, already this year with what we're doing. I think we're changing a little bit.
Absolutely.
Going to be even bigger. And then after we talk about the elites, we're going to bring in Blake. Or are you going to come in now? You doing camera work right now? Well, Blake and Jacob Fleming. Jacob Fleming's going to come in. We're going to talk about Lake Allatoona. Well, but Chris and I are going to talk a little bit about Allatoona because that's what we fished this past Saturday. So, Chris Taylor, Dusty Diamond, Robert Woody, all you guys. Nathan just stopped by to say hello, go Braves. Listen, was that not the worst call in the history of calls the other night? I mean, did you see it? He didn't come within an acre of touching home plate, and everybody knows it. Them umpires are just too scared to do the right thing. So that's us Brave guys fussing. But
I DVR fishing, that's it.
Is that it?
I don't watch TV.
Listen, I hadn't watched the Braves game all year. It's the first game I'd watched this year. I invested all 9 innings only to watch the umps absolutely screw it at the end. So if you have instant replay, it ought to be quite obvious.
Yeah.
I mean, so I'm just saying, but absolutely. So I was going to say it's looking kind of lonely in there tonight, Jeremiah. No, we got them sitting over there. They're on the casting couch.
Something like
that. They're over there. So and they can't. There's nothing they can do about it right now. So that was great right there, Paul. Don't you think so? Of course, Paul Coonan, the man, is behind the board tonight, and Brave score right now currently is 3-3. So say, listen, we'll give you an update on the Ray Charles said he was safe. Listen, it was that bad. It was that bad. I agree. So let me go ahead and take care of some business first. Again, this episode, as always, is brought to you by State Farm and the Cassidy Agency. Chase Epley is our man with State Farm. You definitely want to give him a call at 678-779-7269. And just listen, calls are free. If you got any questions concerning your home, your auto, or as we always talk about, your personal articles policy, where you can protect anything from your guns to your rods, your sonars on your boat. You hear me say it each and every episode. You need to give Chase a call and just listen to him. Let him talk some sense into you. I guess that's the way to say it. And just really, tell him what you got. Let him give you a quote. They're free. All right. They're definitely free. And you might find this a lot more reasonable than you think, especially with something like rods. Again, listen to this. You get a rod, and what's if you can get an NRX right now, what is the warranty on the NRX?
Right now there's no over-the-counter warranties.
Right now there's none.
Yeah. I mean, there's a shortage.
Before all that, what was it, $100, $200?
$100.
Okay. So for $100, if your rod breaks, you could file a warranty and get a new NRX. However, if you lost it or it was stolen, all right, or you break it on a hook set. Just no, that's not what I meant to say. Break it on a hook set. I don't know where I went with that. I was thinking about a hook set, and I just absolutely muffed that entire thing.
That was from me.
Is that from Saturday? It's still blazing in my mind. The hook sets. We'll talk about that later. But just for reasons other than the obvious, I guess is what I want to say. That warranty does you no good. But if you get a personal articles policy with State Farm through Chase for $75 a year, up to $7,500. You can have it all covered. All right. And it's retail value. So again, give him a call at 678-779-7269, or you can email him, chase@CassidySF.com. All right. So again, we appreciate State Farm. Not only do they sponsor the show, they are a member of the sponsorship group for the Electric Elites. So we appreciate everything that they do. And so again, guys, just tell them Fish North Georgia sent you, and just give them a call today and see what they can do for you. Now, a couple of other things. Hard labor this Saturday, and I believe I got the dates. Let me tell you how the day is gone. We have worked. It was what, about a minute before we went live tonight. I sat down in this chair.
About 15 seconds.
15 seconds before we sat down, I ran down here with my computer and my notes and said, "Let's do a show." That's how it goes around here. We've had meetings, phone calls, and all that. And I want to make sure I got the right dates. But I think at Hard Labor Creek, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, there's a Miracle for Micah tournament this Saturday. It's a tournament that in the past was trying to raise money to help this little boy named Micah. And I think Micah, if I'm not a mistake, he's in remission now from the leukemia or a certain type of cancer that he had. But they're helping another child this year. So if you're not doing anything Saturday, go down to Hard Labor Creek and do a couple of things. Number one, if you want to fish, fish in that tournament, the money goes to the family. If not, they're doing raffle and stuff like that after the tournament. So that is an absolute great cause. And if you don't have a chance and you want to donate some money, I can give you you can hit me up on Danny. The pink is very slimming on you. Actually, it's red. I don't know what's wrong with the color. All right, so it's not pink. It's definitely red, but I appreciate that. I've been eating a lot of salad lately. So anyway, you guys, if you need or want to give money to that, I can help you out and give that. I don't know what you guys are giggling about back there, but we're going to handle that. You got any announcements, Chris? Anything that needs to be said before we just jump right into it?
No, you want to?
How many are we looking for? Salmon color. Chris, what color is my shirt?
It's red.
It's red.
It's red.
It's the light. It's the lighting and all that. So we need 5 boats. Okay, so guys, we have 5. Okay, guys. So I want to put this out tomorrow night at Little Hall. We're going to do our first little ever Fish North Georgia pot night tournament from 5 to 9. Okay, currently we don't want to get no bigger than 9 boats. All right, so currently we have 5 boats. So if any of you guys want to join us tomorrow night at Little Hall, very cheap entry fee. We're just doing $30. This is more for $30. So $30 entry fee. Winner take all. No big fish, none of this stuff. You just come in. If you win, you get the money, and everybody else is just going to have a good time. This is going to be a start of some things we're getting ready to do, but this is just some fun that we're throwing together. And yes, Blake might as well be on the show. He's barking all the orders from over yonder. So you are. Well, come on over here. You're good. All right. So I know we're talking this. So, but what we're going to try to do is we're going to the weigh-in tomorrow night. We're going to broadcast live on Fish North Georgia. So it's just a little fun thing that we're wanting to do. And again, it doesn't matter. Sorry, kayakers. I love you guys. I don't want to hear no griping. I love kayak guys. But we're not doing a length tournament. This is a weigh-in tournament. So got to have a live well, got to be in a boat. Or if you can figure out a way to keep them alive, then so be it right there. So, but anyway, tomorrow night, 5 to 9 at Little Hall. If you want to fish the next 4 guys, and I will take it in order that will message me on Facebook or call Blake. Blake, what's your number? I'm going to give it out to everybody. What's your number, Blake? 770 401 2825. No, you cannot weigh in catfish, although I do love that. I think that's a great idea. We'll do a catfish tournament. Do what, Blake? No dead fish. No dead fish. And if you got your boat set right, it shouldn't be that way. So I know it does happen from time to time. We don't want to knock anybody. It does happen. So but we appreciate that. The report from Hickory Log right now, I can tell you, it's going to be fun this Saturday. For the elites, the electric elites will be on Hickory Log in Canton.
Yep.
Josh and I pre-fished it Friday. We saw a couple of other elite competitors out there. We basically, all I'm going to tell you is it ought to be good.
Yep.
Ought to be good.
Yep.
That's all I'm going to say. It is setting up to be a great tournament. the weather, about a week and a half ago, they said it was going to be cold, but it's not going to be as bad as what they thought.
Patricia scared me. She put a post out.
She did. I know it. Seriously.
Hey, she just shared a post that was put out.
And
I was like, oh, man.
It had a bunch of blue in it. Like it was supposed to be really cold. And one thing about the elites this year is we have not got perfect weather in any tournament. It has been miserable.
It's been challenging.
What was hard labor? I didn't get to fish hard labor, but that was wind.
Hard labor was wind, cold front.
Yes.
It was I think it was freezing to start the tournament.
It was, because I remember Josh hitting me up going, man, I didn't dress for this. I'm dying.
It was terrible.
With that wind. Rocky Mountain, even though it was bluebird skies, that's not what you want on Rocky Mountain PFA. And it was cold.
Cold.
Big time cold.
Dipping your rod cold for the first hour or two.
Everything was freezing. And then when we fished at Lanier, that was windy and cold and snow and all that stuff. We haven't had perfect weather for an elite tournament, but hey, listen. That's just what you fish. So we fish what the good Lord gives us, and that's where we're going to go. Now, for those of you guys that are tuned in for Allatoona, we're definitely Allatoona talk. We're going to get into that. But first, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do something that's very important to us, and that is the electric elites. You hear us talking about it all the time. A lot of people are interested in this, and we're trying to build this. We're trying to bring electric-only fishing and bring it some legitimacy and bring it up to the level of, your big boats and stuff like that and we, payouts, prizes, sponsors and stuff like that. So our goal in mind is to increase this every year with the goal of taking this throughout the Southeast in relative short term, not next year.
Yep.
We're trying to plan it right. So
walk before we crawl.
Crawl
before we walk.
Yeah,
Sorry.
Right, yeah.
Crawl before we walk.
That's exactly go. Yeah, that's exactly because we were there. That's why it rained Saturday. So the Braves are losing, so I'm back now, Nathan. Well, good, buddy. What's the warranty on the FX rods? I broke one this weekend. Good thing. Listen, if you did what I told you when you bought it and you filled out the paperwork, it's a $60 lifetime warranty. All right, you bring it back in here. I'll fill out a warranty claim here at Fish North Georgia. Bring me $60, and if we have it in stock, you'll walk out with a new one. If we don't, we'll make sure it gets ordered and drop shipped to your house. So that, unless I'm wrong, Chris Taylor, who is watching tonight, he is our FX rep. He can correct me on that, but I think that is right. So again, you must have done some really good hook settings if you actually broke one of them things like that.
While we're on the electric elites and the FX rods, let's go ahead and do a little sponsor drop for our electric.
We are. That's
Series.
a good thing. FX rods is the official rod of the electric elite. One thing I can tell you about this is you will not, in my opinion, you will not find a finer rod for the price range. He has the titanium series, and they will run you in the 330s, right in that area. But he has the extreme angler series that runs you anywhere from the 170s to right about 199. And I can tell you this, $60 lifetime warranty. It's a great warranty on the rods, and he makes his rods with a purpose. So Bob at FX has designed every single rod to match a certain type of fishing. All right. So I had a gentleman come in today. He bought a 7.0 or 7 foot. I'm starting going to call it in the names like that. 7 foot. And he was looking for, when we were kind of talking, more of a finesse type presentation. And that rod was one that he could use. And we got to talking. I like to use a 7.4 when I throw my Ned rigs and stuff like that. The rods will, they'll cross different genres of what you want to fish with, but he's very specific. If you guys like to throw these big swim baits, this Thursday, Jeremiah will be back on the show, and we're going to talk swim baits. I can call Bob up and say, Bob, I've got a customer that wants to throw a 5-ounce swim bait, and he's looking to do this. And Bob will give me the model number right then and there. This is what it's designed for, and he stands behind his stuff. And so does the Electric Elites. I have switched every rod that I own over to an FX, and not because of the Elites, because I still am trying to fish for money with these guys, but they're just good. They just cover everything. Yeah, right there, Patricia. They every Electric Elite tournament, we give the winners 2 FX rods, and so they have 2, and they love the 2 that they won at hard labor. All right, I think she's fronting because she's saying we won. She made sure she's just letting everybody know that they won.
No, hey,
I know, but they're good.
No, seriously, I talked to Taylor I talked to him a lot, but
right.
Let's see. Last week he was talking about it, throwing a bait that he'd well, I'll just put it out there, swim jig on
Right.
another lake.
Yes.
And he was using the FX rods, and he said, man,
They're the real deal.
Yeah, he loved it.
They're engineered. And one thing I will tell you this about FX, and I love that we're talking. He is a perfectionist, but you can go on YouTube, and Chris can give me the exact terminology. But what they do is he takes each rod, and there is a way that he'll put an X amount of pounds on it, and he starts lifting it up. And he has a ratio of what it takes to bend each rod a certain degree. And it's in grams, it's in stuff like that. But there's video on it on YouTube. You can pull it up and watch what an FX rod will do. It's very impressive. And again, $60 warranty.
Yep.
They stand behind it. We have got probably, if not largest selection, sold it, and if we don't have it, they will get them right back as quick as possible. So great job Saturday. Also, guys, Danny and Chris, hey, listen, we had fun fishing out there on Saturday.
Absolutely.
We didn't have the results we wanted, but we had fun. I think I had Chris laughing a lot.
Yeah,
we had a good time, and we're going to talk about that a lot. So don't leave if you want to hear about Allatoona, and we might even get into some Carters and stuff like that. But yeah, absolutely is a perfect time to talk about FX. And we got a lot of great sponsors. And over the next couple of weeks, I'm really going to do a sponsor pounding on you guys on the page. I want you to know who these companies are. And as we announce this, I can go ahead and tell you it's going to grow next year and be even bigger. So definitely want you guys to
let's run through our list.
The list right now.
List.
You gonna do this? Watch it. Elko.
Elko.
I'm gonna forget somebody. All right.
Elko.
Okay, so we call it FX rods.
FX rods.
Elko.
Elko is our biggest sponsor for the 2020 season.
That's exactly right. They two motors to the two EP20s to the angler of the team of the year.
Thank you, Elko. Yes,
absolutely. Thank you, Elko, very much. And then let's just go down the list. Humminbird.
All
right, so we got Humminbird and Minn Kota. They're both with Johnson Outdoors, and they decided that they wanted to give us a run this year, and they said if everything works out, they're going to make an even bigger investment next year.
Yep.
In the elites like that. So you got those.
Waiawega
cheese, guys. Cheese curds. I'm telling you, listen. You say, what's a Wisconsin company doing down here in South Georgia? Well, if you eat some of these cheese curds, you'd understand.
Yep.
They are a perfect blend of protein. Everybody takes beef jerky. You got to snack while you're fishing in a tournament, or even if you're just out joy fishing. And listen, the warmer it gets, actually, the better these things are. So we appreciate why we got Sonar Pros.
T-Palm.
That's right.
Wiring harness.
Listen, made for your boat and your specific needs, and that's a pretty awesome thing. And we look to definitely grow with him. I'm going to go ahead and I love this one. I get more, honest to goodness, get more comments about this company than any company out there. Black Rifle Coffee Company. All right, if you look at Chris's shirt right there, listen, it's some dang good coffee. Is all I'm going to say. And and what they support, what they stand for is awesome. But here's a little thing. Been emailing them a lot here in the last few days. We will be carrying Black Rifle Coffee in Fish, North Georgia. So at the store, we will have that. You guys can come by. I love giving out that coffee, and I love it when we have a bag or two left over because I get an extra bag.
Speaking of Fish, North Georgia,
right?
Fish, North Georgia.
Fish, North Georgia. We do our part. This is one of our babies. We love it, and guys, we're getting ready. I'm in the final stage of actually getting the final part for our business license to actually open up and give you guys some full-time hours. So we appreciate the growth, even though we're really not, we're not the typical business. I love how people call me and you open today. Well, maybe what you need. So stuff like that. 400 Inc.
400 Inc.
Carrie Bell at 400 Inc. Guys, if you're looking for a boat wrap or anything with graphic design, from business cards all the way up to T-shirts, stuff
Apparel,
like that. Yeah, they do everything. And, Carrie will be sponsoring again next year as well. So we definitely appreciate that.
My guy, Carrie.
Yeah, Carrie's a good guy. Now I'm going to let you do this one. Mark Gayton Stone.
Yeah. Shout out to Dad.
So that's right. So he's definitely in there. And I will say this, when we talked about this, Chris said this about his dad. He doesn't want to be a part of anything that does not have integrity and is not run correctly.
Absolutely.
So that's something that's important to Mr. Gayton, and definitely we feel like we are living up to that. And it's a good thing to have somebody with that kind of integrity involved in what we're doing like that, and
Appreciate
demanding that integrity as
Yeah,
well. That's what he's
absolutely.
demanding for us. Hey, scroll on up a little bit over there on them brands over there, so I make sure I don't forget anybody. Now we got a lot of local bait manufacturers too that I don't want to leave out. We have Softy Lures. We'll definitely get them. Softy Lures, Sugar Hill Bait Company, and listen, he is I honestly think right now Sugar Hill has the finest, along with 706, who is another sponsor of ours. They have the two best underspins that I've thrown. I've thrown more of Sugar Hill, and I can tell you right now, you do not get the wobble. All right, it is true running, and if you guys get a chance, just listen. He's got some good colors. You fish them.
Yep.
You like them.
Yeah.
This is good stuff. Now,
Yeah.
706 is a newer company that we've got in there, and they do a lot of high-end shaky heads and stuff like that, swim bait heads, stuff like that with the screw locks and all that. But they have the underspin, and they do two things too that we have here at Fish North Georgia. They have the smooth blade and the what do you call it when it's hammered like this. We have the hammered blade like that. So I will in just a second. Definitely we'll do that. We'll get True Grit last, that's one of ours. Let's go to Georgia Blade. Guys, if you live in North Georgia, you know Georgia Blade.
Absolutely.
Mike and Pam, they don't come any finer as far as people. They got a great selection of spinner baits. Good grief, if they do everything with soft plastics.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Everything.
I can't think. Well, they actually do soft plastics with the Yamamoto.
Yep.
But I can't believe she ain't got Mike over there pouring plastics too. Miss Pam works that man. All right. So, but we love Miss Pam is good as gold. And I love the fact she will text me every other day. Sometimes she'll just text me out of the blue and just want to know how my day is.
Yep.
And so just good people. I'm so glad that they're with us. You got Nichols Lures. Okay, listen, some really good stuff. We're starting to carry their buzz baits and stuff like that. Some of their jigs we're getting here in the store. Nichols it's a Georgia company and really high-end quality products like that, spinner baits and all that. So we appreciate Nichols, and we look forward to growing with them. You got Chattahoochee Jigs. Oh, Foster with Chattahoochee. Listen. Again, the boy's got, and I shouldn't call him a boy. I should call him a young man, but he's a young kid. But the boy does phenomenal work.
He does.
With his jigs. They're hand-tied. He's got a great selection.
He's got a huge selection.
I believe we have most of them here at Fish North Georgia, but I know you can get them at other places. I even think the dugout's starting to carry them again. I hope I'm correct with that. But it's a good thing to support this kid, and I'm glad that he is jumping out and willing to support he's trying to learn the business.
Yep.
And he realizes you got to be, with people. You got to be with the right people and all that. So he has jumped on with us. Decked Out John Boats. Again, guys, go to Facebook. It's one of the biggest pages that I know of as far as in our area. Brett Cummins started with basically he put some videos out on YouTube. He's got a YouTube channel with a build. He did a build from decking out his John boat and all that, and it's just basically sprung. I think, and I might be wrong, Brett, if you're watching tonight, and I didn't look beforehand, but he might even have over 17 or 18,000 followers on Facebook, and it's worldwide. I mean, you get these cats from Australia and they're talking about John boats and stuff, and I'm like, it's crazy.
Unbelievable.
So, what happened to the fishing shirts or jerseys, guys? Well, John, you know what? We might actually have been a little bit busy. We just ain't got to it. Maybe you can step up and help us with that. I need good people to come volunteer and help. So that would be great. Actually, the reality is, listen, there's so much going on, John, that we just ain't had time. That's the honest truth.
Well, not only that, too, I checked into it a little bit, and it's hard to get product right now.
You can't get it right now.
It's hard to get product right now. But it's still
quality product.
Yes.
Quality product.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's still being looked into.
It is being looked into, and it will definitely be available before next year, but it's sooner than later. All right. So I promise you. Okay. Dusty Diamond, 34,000. See, listen,
34,000.
That's a bunch of people on Facebook. And I didn't know. I knew it was big. So anybody keeping up the score with the Braves game, it's 4-4. And hello, Tatum. My daughter, I appreciate you wasting your time watching your old man, but thank you anyway. So
last but not least,
True Grit.
True Grit.
All right. So that is a company that Fish North Georgia is in with conjunctions with Mr. Gayton right here. We pride ourselves in doing things what we like to say the right way, albeit it may be a little bit slower. We're doing it the right way. We're going to build this company the right way. And we're developing a pro staff that we're kind of proud of right now. Got Jesse Millsaps.
Extremely proud of.
Very proud of that one. National Pro Fishing League pro. He is going to be using. If you see him fishing, and he's fishing a lake in Texas this coming up week, and if you see him throwing a white swim jig or something like that, I can tell you who tied that thing right there. So
good luck, buddy.
Good. I am proud of that. You darn right. If he wins that tournament on something that I tied, listen, I tied 1-2, went and caught 1-2, and I was just tickled.
Oh yeah.
But we did things the right way. And so you got Jonathan Farmer, who is a local stick here in North Georgia. He fishes the BFLs. Jason Sayers. Again, another BFL fisherman, and we're going to help these guys grow in their social media and stuff, and we want to grow with them. And then a William Brewer, big time kayak guy up in Virginia, right? And he fishes. Yep, he's big time in that.
Yep, he's a lineman.
He is a lineman, and that's his day job.
Yep,
but
he fishes all kind of.
Trails. He fishes some high dollar events too.
Yeah,
he's not just somebody that jumps in a kayak and goes fishing. This guy's got a following. But again, it's something that we want to take our company and throw it back into what we believe in, and that's the elites. And we got some good. We're surrounding ourselves with some quality people.
And we really, for me, I just want to thank each and every one of them. I mean, we're blessed to have.
We are blessed.
Those people on board.
We are, and guys, I'm gonna tell you right now, it's gonna grow for next year.
Yep,
definitely gonna do that. So, anyway, are you ready to drop this schedule?
Let's drop.
Let's talk a little bit about the elites. All right, because I know a lot of people are interested. Now, this year we had 20 teams. All right. Next year, we'll go ahead and just start with facts. Next year, we're going to go from 20 teams to 40 teams.
Yep.
All right. We're going to take 10 of the 20 teams. Everybody has to fill out an application. All right. I don't care if you're Michael Jordan, who you are, Bill Dance, whatever. You got to fill out an application.
Yep.
We want to know a little bit about you. We want to know about your social media. We want to know about stuff like that. So very important because we want to understand who's going to be fishing with us and stuff like that. So you got to fill out an application. July 1st, as of right now, July 1st is the final cutoff to fill out an application for the Electric Elite. Now, you may be out there saying, hey, you know what? I don't know that they'll accept me. Whatever. Listen, fill out an application. If we don't, I'll let you know why, and we will let you know what we think you might want to do for the following year, things to improve on. So, we're very open with it. You can jump in there and add anything on that that you can think of.
Yeah, not ever. If you have any kind of interest, fill out an application. If you don't, if for some reason you decide you don't want to fish it at a later date,
absolutely
no problem.
No problem, not at all. Just go ahead and fill out an application, and it doesn't matter whether you're a big water angler right now, gas motors. If you're a kayak guy thinking about jumping, the only thing you have to have is you have to have a partner. All right. So we're not taking individual angler applications. They're team applications. All right. So that's a big thing I want everybody to know. You got to have a partner, and Bill Dance on the Electric Elites. It probably would be. It would be perfect. I would like to absolutely just get him on the show and pick his brain. I bet that would be a good time. So, got to be a team application. We want to know you and your partner, your social media, all that stuff. Bill Dance only catches mules. Y'all wouldn't stand a chance. Hey, listen, to be the best, you got to beat the best. All right. So that's right. Bring him on. That's it. Listen, I'm not lying. Kevin Van Dam still got to fill out an application to fish with us. And that's just the truth. He's still going to fill out an application. We're not trying to be, snooty about it. It's just, hey, listen, we show no preferential treatment. We're gonna treat this guy the same as this guy, and gals for Patricia, who I know is watching and is probably steaming at me going for saying guys all the time, but gals too. But you got to have a team. All right, it's got to be 2 guys. So that's number 1. Of those 20 teams that we're adding, you've probably heard this before. 10 will be hand selected by the Electric Elite Board, which right now will consist of Chris, myself, Josh, and Aaron Cole. All right, Josh McKagan, Aaron Cole. Now, again, if you're our best friend, that doesn't mean you're going to get in. That's just the way it is. We're going to pick the 10 best anglers from the applications that we believe should be automatic, no-brainers.
Yep.
And that's the way we're doing it. So these are no-brainers. The following 10, what we're going to do is we're going to have I don't know how many we're going to have, but we're going to have some kind of like tournaments, open tournaments
that
are open for anybody. And will there be a point system with those tournaments?
There will be.
There will be. So you got to
point
finish.
System.
Okay, so you got to win it and finish. So we're going to have 3 winners in the point, and then the rest will come from the points.
Yes.
Is that how we decided?
Yep.
Those lakes, depending on the interest, will probably be something like hard labor or.
Yep.
I think we just said hard labor for now.
Hard labor. No, we're gonna. I think we need to swap it up just to kind of get
swap it up a couple.
Yeah, we haven't set the lakes yet, but
Okay.
We'll fish 3 different lakes. We'll take the winner from each event, and then 7 of the
next 7.
Next 7
will
on
come
the points. Yep.
Okay, so
4,
you have a
5,
chance
6.
to fish your way in. If you're not one of the 10 that's chosen this year, so that is 10 spots to get into the elites, and you got to be consistent though over 3 tournaments. You can win it, you're in.
Yep.
And that's great. So anybody can win on any given day. But then if you're consistent over 3 tournaments and you don't win, you still have a shot. And I think
4 through 10 will come through points.
Mm-hmm.
And then that'll make up
our 40 field.
Yep.
40 team field. All right. So now we've got 40 teams established. 40 teams. So here's what we're going to do. All right. There's going to be a group A and a group B.
Yep.
Okay, so it's going to be 2 divisions in the elites next year. Group A, Group B, we may name them something different, but for right now, for this purpose, Group A, Group B. All right, how we are going to determine this, we talked up here, and we've done this, and we just think this is the best way. The 20 anglers that are returning.
Yep.
Again, and we're assuming all 20 teams will return. If they don't, we'll adjust it. But what we will do is Group A will get angler that finishes in first place, the team of the year.
Yep.
Will be team 1 in Group A. Second place will be team 2 in Group
3.
B.
2 and 3.
2 and 3 will go to Group B, and then 4 will go back over to Group A.
That's right.
So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. And then from there, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So how you finish this year in the elites will determine which division you were put into next year. Yes, we looked at ways to try to make it where it changed every week. And guys, let's just be honest, at this point in the growth, it would be such a tremendous headache to just blind draw out of the field every week.
Yep.
And this way it sets up. And then what we will do with the following new 20 teams is they will be handpicked. That's what we decided. Handpicked. Ain't that what we talked about? We might even we're going to draw them out of a hat and then just place them. Wasn't that the last conversation? So, we might do something like that.
So we're still exploring options for that. But yes,
it would be pretty cool. And one thing that got floated around, and I don't know if this is what we're going to do, is that each of the 20 teams will have a number, 1 through 20, and nobody knows. We'll have a list of what these teams are. We're going to have somebody possibly off-site, not even away from us, filming in live. They'll draw it out, and we might let Blake do it. Is that who's raising his hand over there? Do you have a date set when the 10 teams will be selected? When are we going to select the handpicked teams? It would be very quickly after July 1st.
Yeah. I would say the week following July 1st.
Those teams will be in.
Yeah.
And then after that way we can set the remainders up for the tournaments, for the fish offs and stuff like that. So then I have the A and B. The next 20, we were talking about having somebody off-site with a hat with the numbers 1 through 20. And only the people in this building that night will know which team. We'll assign each team a number. So as that person off-site picks the number, we fill in. That was one of the ways we floated around. Now, that's not set in stone yet, but that's just kind of an idea.
And we could possibly do another show.
We would do that. That's what I'm saying. It would be live.
Yeah.
No, it would be live.
Right.
Every bit of that would be live. So it would be, everybody would sit here to figure out what division they're going to be in. Okay, so that's how we set the 2 divisions, 20 boats, 20 boats. All right, so everybody's pretty clear on that. That's pretty straightforward.
Yep.
Now, we'll get to the schedule here in a second. Each division will have a team of the year.
That's right.
So and it'll be all points based. So Group A will have a team of the year. Group B will have a team of the year. This will be determined during the 6 tournament schedule, regular season schedule. Yep. And here's the kicker: in the Classic, we're going to have a wild card. We're going to talk about that, but those will not fish the wild card, of course, because they finish so high. They're going to jump straight to the Classic. Now, in the Classic, those two teams basically start on even ground. Winner take all tournament of the year right there in the Classic. Correct? Is that what we decided? Explain.
So we're going to take the top 10 from Group A, top 10 from Group B.
They will go to the Classic. Yes.
We're going to have a wild card. So we'll actually have 4 Group A, 4 Group B.
Yes.
So we'll actually have a 22 boat field to start the Classic.
Right.
The Anglers of the Year for Group A and the Anglers of the Year for Group B, they're going to get a prize for being Anglers of the Year of their group.
They'll get, yes, exactly. Group. They'll get an award.
They will fish head-to-head.
In the Classic.
Clean slate, head-to-head in the Classic. That will determine our Angler of the Year.
Yeah, the highest finish. So if Group A champion finishes 10th and Group B champion finishes 12th, like old school NASCAR, the team that finished 10th, Group A, would win the Team of the Year.
That's right.
So you don't have anybody going into the Classic for Team of the Year except for two teams.
Yep.
And one A and B. So we think that creates a lot of drama inside of the Classic itself.
Yep. Yep.
You got,
and also too, I mean, we're taking it's so the Classic's going to be a 2-day event.
Right.
That's another thing. It's going to be a 2-day tournament, Saturday and a Sunday. You're going to have the top 10, your 2 wild cards.
Mm-hmm.
They're fit. So the Anglers of the Year are fishing head to head. And then the second day of the tournament, it'll be cut down to the top 10 boats.
That's correct.
So the first day you'll have 22 boats. The second day on that Sunday, you'll have 10 boats.
10 boats. All right, so we're going to whittle it down just like the big boys do.
That's it.
And now the only thing what we would hope, and if they've been Team of the Year all year, you would definitely hope that one of those two, if not both of them, would make it to that following Sunday. We could technically crown our Team of the Year that Saturday, but you got to come Sunday to get your prize. All right. So you got to come Sunday, get your prize and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to do. And the cool thing about that is it's going, and again, you get an award for winning your division as Team of the Year in each division. When you go into the Classic, did we decide if it was a winner take all? It's winner take all, whatever the prize is in the Classic. Have we decided that yet? There's a lot of stuff we have. I don't remember we talked about. So it just popped into my mind.
As far as the Anglers of the Year?
Yeah. So like, let's just say we're fishing for this year. The Team of the Year gets 2 Elcos.
Yep.
There's no second place prize this year.
No.
In the Classic, since they both already got a prize for the divisions, it's a winner take all in the Classic. Whatever we have for them, it's that.
So the Classic prize, for the overall Angler of the Year, there's one larger prize, and they win that prize.
They win that prize for the Team of the Year. Tim White, 2 lakes are the same. You're getting ready to see that. It will be the same, and we're going to tell you how we're working that this year as well. So definitely like that. So again, in our Classic, let's just go over it one more time. So we cover everything. Team of the Year, Division A Team of the Year, Division B Team of the Year. In the Classic, they are the only 2 teams qualified to fish. They're fishing off. Highest finishing team in the Classic is the overall Team of the Year, and they will win the big grand prize. You will both have prizes for winning the division, but you will win the big, which again, this year is 2 Elcos. And I'm going to make it bigger next year. I promise you that. You'll get that in the Classic. So that's definitely. How do you determine the wild card?
We'll get to cover that in just a minute.
We'll get to the wild card in just a second. Or do you want to go ahead and get to it right now?
Well, I think we could cover that when we get our schedule out.
Do the schedule.
Yep.
Okay,
do the
that's
schedule,
fine.
and we can talk about the wild card.
Did I miss anything on how we get to the thing on it? So everybody should be pretty up to date on the 2 divisions, A and B.
Yep.
Everybody should be pretty up to date on how we determine the Angler of the Year is top finisher in A, top finisher in B in the Classic.
Yep.
All right. Anything else on that you might want to add, or that's pretty straightforward.
Group A and B fish different days.
Kind of, yes.
We'll talk about that a little bit more in a minute. Anybody have any questions over what we just covered?
If you have questions right now on the Team of the Year, that's what we're definitely talking about. The regular tournaments, there's going to be 6 tournaments, 6 lakes. Each team, each division will fish that lake. We'll get to that in just a second. We will have, like this year, FX we talked about. The winner of the tournament gets 2 FX rods. That team gets that. We intend on having the same type of prizes as far as that goes next year. And you'll understand what I mean as far as that goes, because there'll be 2 winners each month.
That's right.
All right. So we'll do that. And What do you want to get into next? You ready to just get in the schedule? We'll talk about each lake a little bit and why Hey, listen, this is what happens when you jump in the 30 minutes or 30 seconds before the show starts.
Yeah, no, I think that's I think that pretty much covers that. We can talk about the schedules and how that lays out.
Okay.
So let's talk about the how everything lines up as far as fishing each weekend.
Okay, that's where you're going now. Go ahead.
The way we have that set up right now is Group A will fish Saturday this month at our first lake.
Right.
Group B will fish on Sunday of the same weekend.
Same weekend. Understand that, guys. Same weekend.
Same weekend. There's a lot of
logistics.
We're trying to not interfere with other clubs. There's, as you all know, we've got a lot of electric only clubs in the state, and trying to schedule as least conflict as possible. It's just impossible to do all Saturdays.
Yes, same lake. Absolutely. Same
lake. So same lake, Saturday and Sunday. Group A fishes
that
the
Saturday.
First tournament on Saturday. Group B fishes that Sunday. The next month, our next tournament, Group B will fish on Saturday. Group A will fish on Sunday.
So it's just a
rotation back and forth.
Yeah, and that's the best way to do it. We tried to come up with a lot of different, like splitting weeks and stuff like that. It gets anglers on the same lake in the same weekend, and it's just easier. Let's just be honest right now. I mean, that makes it easier for us to have the scales there to weigh in the logistics. We can go, if we go down to one of these lakes down south, we can actually get a hotel room and stay the entire, fish that whatever day it is or the next day and stuff like that. So, again, now I want to go ahead and cover one thing that has been brought up to me right now with this, and this is something that we're kind of planning. The Sunday tournaments, all right? I know a lot of guys like myself. I know I'm a heathen, but I don't miss church. I enjoy going to church on Sunday mornings. It's the best hour of the week. I strongly encourage anybody watching, find you a good Bible-based church and go, all right? So that the Lord loves the heathen, but I don't miss church. I can't maybe 5 times in the last 5 years. All right. To do this, if you fish on a Sunday in a given thing, and I talked with Chris about this earlier, I'm going to be contacting either individuals or pastors in that area of the church and see, even if we have to have a donation, whatever we got to do, if there's enough interest, we will have somebody there on those Sunday mornings beforehand. We will have a little service beforehand. Definitely, if we're going to blast off at 7, we want to do it, 5:30 to 6 or something like that. Just come in. And that's a very important, we don't want to take that away from anybody. So we definitely want you to understand that that's a very important part of many people's lives and ours as well. So we're trying to do the best we can, but the reality is over 6 months, you're only going to miss 3. You only have to fish on 3 Sundays, and it flops every other month. So it is a small sacrifice. And again, No, Ron, it is on the same lake, and it doesn't suck. You would just definitely have to understand what we're going with scheduling.
It's no different than BASS. They're fishing the same lake 4 days in a row.
Yeah, so it does not. Definitely, I disagree with you on that. But we will have somebody there. Absolutely, we'll take care of that need if that need arises. And so, if that's important to you, I definitely want you to reach out to us so that we can do that. Freed getting I love getting the comment break. We're getting a brave score in there. 8-4. Freed is getting no help from the defense. Sounds like it. All right. Sounds like it. So again, I wanted to throw that out there too, because I know Chris and I talked about that earlier tonight. Yeah, and that's just something that is going through my mind, and it is important. And again, if there's anybody out there that might want to volunteer to do that part of the ministry, we will definitely we'll talk to you.
Yep.
If you're one of our anglers that would like to do that, absolutely, we will definitely put the measures in place to make sure that just like NASCAR, baseball, all those things, even professional fishing.
Yep.
Sometimes Sundays, even though we would love to have everybody have it off with this, and as we grow, we're going to have to get into Sunday fishing. So we hope everybody understands that, but we will make accommodations.
Yeah, we're going to try to accommodate any way possible.
So that's that right there. So again, now we've covered that. We've covered so every tournament will have a Saturday and a Sunday. And again, if you're A, You'll fish a Saturday one month, the next month you'll flip to that Sunday. So that way we're not sticking the same guys on Saturday each time. And that kind of varies. And again, you're not fishing against the people that fished the day before. You're fishing against the team that you're fishing, the teams that you're with that day.
Your group.
The second day guys are not an advantage, and here's why, Brian. Because he is agreeing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, I didn't get all the way through that. Yeah, so yeah. I'm not calming down. I love Brian. I love Brian to death. Brian's one of my best guys that come in there, but he is right. So that's why Sunday guys are fishing against Sunday guys. You don't worry about the lake. If Saturday guys caught 28.2 pounds and Sunday guys, the best thing to do is 12, it doesn't matter. That number one on Saturday and that number one on Sunday is equal in points. And that's all you're fishing. So we need to get that out of the way right then and there. And for anybody that thinks that, thank you, Brian.
Yeah, and we even had some conversation come up between us about, people, a team or a team that's fishing in Group A sharing information with a team that's fishing in Group B. You know what? If that happens, it happens. I don't think that's something that we can police. I also think that is a disadvantage in a lot of situations.
Yes.
It's hard for another man. It's hard for me to fish someone else's game.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I try not to listen. I try to put my own game plan together. Sometimes it works out as an advantage. Sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah. And listen, when you're trying to do this again, like you said, there's so many electric only clubs.
Yep.
We're not trying to take everybody's spots. We're not interested in doing that. We're trying to put out the best club out there. Is there a cutoff day for fishing the lake? Absolutely.
1 week.
1 week. So that does give you, if you're fishing, if you're on Sunday, do we give them Monday?
No.
We're going to go Sunday night, and that's for everybody.
Sunday night for everyone. Okay. Because that way it keeps it even across the field. You may get 1 day closer this tournament. The next tournament, you're going to be 1 day further.
Fair enough. So there you go. We're gonna do that. So Sunday at midnight before the tournament, 1 week off, and that's what we do, Brian, this month. And do the group swap days the next month? Absolutely, they do. So again, A/B, you'll go A on Saturday in January, and then in February, A will fish on that Sunday, and that gives each group 3 Saturdays apiece and 3 Sundays apiece. So that way, it's the most fair way that we can do that way. So now.
Schedule.
All right.
Here we go.
You're ready. So I'm going to call out the dates, and I'm going to let Chris talk about the lake, and we'll do that. Excuse me here. January 15th and January 16th, 2022.
Lake Lanier. Right. We'll be going out of Mary Alice Park.
Mm-hmm.
We had a great turnout this year. Had a great tournament. Weather
sucked.
Weather was terrible. Geiger and Randy won that first event.
Exactly where Barday told me to go to.
Yeah.
My intel. Guys, here's real quick. Listen to your intel sometimes. Especially if they're better than you.
I don't know.
It's
hard for me to do that. It's either really good for you or really bad for you.
I know, but good grief.
But so January
15th and 16th.
15th and 16th, again on Lanier. For 2022.
Okay, that's Mary Alice Park. February 12th and 13th.
Black Shoals
going south.
Yep. Black Shoals for the 12th and the 13th. We haven't fished that.
Are we fishing that this year?
Yeah.
I don't even know our own schedule.
Yes. So we're there.
Josh is like my wife, and don't take that the wrong way. He just tells me where to be in a show.
Yeah. So we're there actually May.
In May this year. Okay, so we're going to move that up to February.
Yeah.
Okay. So that ought to be good. That'll be kicking a little early down there.
We got a little intel that it fishes pretty good in February. So
is that what we hear?
Yeah.
It fishes good in February. All right. That's perfect.
Maybe a bad thing for us.
Maybe a bad thing for us, but them Southern boys sure know when it fishes. Can you say bird? But anytime in January is a crapshoot. That's it. But some of the biggest bags of the year come in January.
Yeah.
If everything works out right, it didn't necessarily for us, but you can see some monster bags in January if the conditions that.
Yeah, we had 2 really good days of practice, and
that's right. Yeah, and then 90-mile-an-hour wind and snow coming like that.
Yeah.
Josh Tatum, you can have church anywhere. No better place to talk to God than on the water watching the sunrise. I agree. That is true. Black Shoals ain't south. Josh Thompson.
Yeah.
Listen, Josh. For me, it is. All right. Listen, Roswell's south for me.
Yeah.
I don't even like going to Roswell. But back to Josh Tatum's thing. Yes, I agree with you. However, there is something to be said for gathering with people of a like mind once a week. It's just something about that I love.
Yep.
I agree with you. I don't disagree with you, but I love Etowah Church. Invite every one of you to come there. As a matter of fact, if you want to come, it's a great church. So hey, let's get back on to this. So now let's get into March 12th and March 13th.
Hard Labor Creek.
We
was there this March.
You were there this March, and of course we had the weather issues a little bit. It was like 100-mile-an-hour winds to you guys. I had to stay here and work that day, so Josh had that. But
Taylor and Patricia,
a few bedfish being caught, but you could go both ways with that. So that tournament should fish where there'll be a few bedding, there'll be some still chasing, anything goes.
That's a little bit earlier in March. It just depends on the weather we get.
Right.
Depends on the I don't know. Some people don't agree with it, but I agree with moon phases on bedding, spawning. But,
smart guys like you do. I don't know. I don't. So, all right, here we go. Let's get into April. April 4th. Oh, excuse me. April's the 4th month. April 9th and 10th. Lucas. What about Lucas makes that so good in April?
I don't know. We're going to see. We just got some intel from the guys that fish
down south.
That way.
That's right, Josh Thompson. Those guys down south.
Yeah.
That say Lucas is good.
Yeah.
And eventually down south is we're going to get all them boys in South Georgia involved in this very shortly too.
Yep.
When I say South, real South Georgia like that. So, but Lucas is that's an intriguing one.
Yeah.
To me right there. So I like that. Now this, and I used to hate going to this place, and now I kind of like it.
Yeah.
All right. So May 14th and May 15th is
Brushy Branch
over there on the border of Alabama. Guys, if you go too far in, your iPhones will change. Make sure you wear a watch, and you will never be late. You'll never be late to a weigh-in. So Lauren Roberts caught my personal best spot at Lucas this past weekend. Lucas Spot Factory. There you go. Hey, listen, we've been told by the guys down there that it is just Lucas is a spot heaven. They won it with 14.5 2 weeks ago. We've just been told that's just a great lake.
Yeah.
Just an absolute great lake. It's a good lake to add on the schedule. And we've been told it fishes really, really good in April.
Yeah. So, yeah,
I've never been there. See, that's what I'm thinking. And we're trying to expand each year. We're going to go. We're going to increase these lakes and all that. Now,
Brushy Branch
is
you're going to get a mixture. You're going to get some largemouth. You're going to get some spots. It just depends on where you're fishing.
Just don't fish in the 1 foot water like I did that one. I'm just kidding. I actually have gotten now that I know that area a little more. There's always a good possibility of a magnum there. I mean, it's a good overall lake, but you could stump into a big one right there, and that's May is a good time. We didn't fit. Have you ever fished brushy in May?
No, we fished it in June, I believe,
right.
last year. We didn't fish it in May, but I've heard it's really good in May.
Yeah.
Last year, from what I know about brushy,
right,
as you go to the river and you can catch some spots, you stay in the creek, I guess is what you would call it, or the arm.
Mm-hmm.
And it's more of your largemouth fishery.
It's interesting, and but it can get muddy.
Yeah.
It can definitely get muddy. So it might be one of those tournaments where it's either blowed out or it's perfect. You never know. Of course, all these are like that. But brushy, of all the places we fish, I think brushy has the biggest chance that could happen.
Yep.
Like that. So, all right. We're getting into June now. June 11th and June 12th.
Hickory Log.
Here in Canton. Now, I want to say this. Listen, Hickory Log has the reputation of a dink factory.
Yep.
We feel, I know, Paul's over giving his thumbs down. Let's not him booing and all that. Here's the thing. We think, back in the day, Latham around here was the lake.
Yeah.
Okay. Every lake is cyclical. Latham is kind of on a downswing. We feel Hickory Log will be on an upswing.
I feel like it's on an upswing now.
And tell everybody why you feel that
way. We had a tournament there last June. I think it was late June. It may have been 1st of July. It was a 3-fish tournament, and it took 17 pounds to win it.
Yeah, on a 3-fish tournament.
3-fish tournament.
The possibilities are there. We fish it now. The elites are there this coming up weekend. We'll be on Hickory Log. I think we're going to hit it just right. They should be, and it probably won't be me, but there should be a couple of big bags that will come out of Hickory Log. Should be.
Yeah.
The possibilities there.
So I'm going to project a weight 16 to 18 pounds.
You think that'll win this weekend?
16 to 18 pounds.
There you go. All right. So
I may be bad off.
But still, it's not. That lake's coming up. They're getting a lot. The vegetation's getting. Hey, if the crowd over there don't hush, no, I'm just kidding. Y'all can talk. It's good. It's a good lake, and it should be at the point to where if everything works great, you're going to start seeing these bags increase. Yes, you're going to have the dink fest, but the guys that know how to catch these fish are going to start targeting them, and they're definitely going to find them. I don't doubt myself, Pork Taco. I can fish. I have a good time, but listen, I fish in the elites with some really good anglers. And that's one cool thing about it is I watch the boats as they pull up each time we have a tournament, and I'm like, that guy's a hammer. That guy's a hammer. That gal's a hammer.
Yeah.
That gal's a hammer. I don't want to live Patricia out. She's whipping everybody.
Hey, shout out to her really quick. She got second
in that
of Ackworth.
In Ackworth.
In the single and the individual.
Individual. So she's a first and a second in that. If they got a points race going for the year, she ought to be sitting pretty good. She got beat by a pretty good fisherman too. What's his name that used to fish EBO with us? I can't. Old redhead. I can't remember his name. We're friends with him. He fished in EBO, one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, and I'm sure somebody's going to put his name up, and I'll go, yeah, that's right. Just right now, I'm slipping my. He wears long pants because he's redheaded. He can't wear shorts right here. He'll burn. He's a very good angler. So her finishing second is very impressive, like that. But again, Alex, when they go Adam Higgins, I say Alex. I say that's it, Alex Williamson. I'm like, and I love Adam and Alex are the two. Listen, if you ever get, and I know I'm not blowing smoke up Adam's butt right there, but listen, Adam and Alex are two of the nicest individuals I have ever met in electric only fishing or just in general. So they're great people, and that we're lucky we got that.
She got her big fish too.
All right, you got big. Quit fronting.
Shout out to Taylor. You're marrying a good net man.
Hey, that's right. Taylor Smith is the best net man right now out there. So, but seriously, back the first time I ever met Adam and Alex, they helped us. We had a truck breakdown at Hickory Log, and they were going to pre-fish, and they helped us with that. And then from then on, seriously, you guys are just your top shelf, both of you. So, Patricia, you did get second. I just want to let you know the gentleman that actually took first, is not a bad individual. He's just a great guy. Yep. So I can't root against either Adam or Alex. So we think the world of them. So anyway, all right. So now that's Hickory Log, and Hickory Log is the final regular season tournament in the 2022 schedule. Yes, Patricia, he is absolutely. So now we're going to talk about a wild card tournament.
Yep.
All right. Now this wild card tournament is being set up so that the top two finishers.
So
in each one, or the top one. So 1 and 1 and 1. We're just
going to take your top 10 and your top 10.
They go to
from
the Classic.
Group A and Group B automatically qualify for the Classic.
Okay.
If you fish or pay your entry fee to fish, if you can't make it for some unforeseen reason, but you fish all 6 events, you're qualified for the wild card tournament.
So anybody can fish that has met those requirements. That is not already qualified for the Classic.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Anybody that has not pre-qualified for the Classic and has fished all 6 events can fish the wild card tournament, and we will take the top 2 boats from the wild card tournament that will get an opportunity to fish in the Classic. All right. So there you go. Now, the lake, the date, June 25th, the wild card tournament will be held at Juliet
down south. All right.
Yep.
So again, another intel. We don't know anything. Listen, I don't know anything about this lake. I'm not going to call you Southern guys anymore because y'all take offense. You mid-level guys. Yeah. Tell us about Juliet. I heard it's a great lake.
Yeah. I've heard it's a great lake too. I know that that Geiger and Charlie kind of help with some of these lakes.
Right.
They put the lakes out there, and we kind of talked over what months they fish well. Some months it's hard to choose a good lake. Other months it's hard to not choose
a good lake. Yeah, everything's hitting in that month. Yeah.
We did the best we could with.
Yeah, I think that will be good. And just a cool thing is just, hey, it's your last chance. So I was out on Juliet today. All right, well, that's pretty cool there, Matt. That's awesome. So it's a 6 regular season, 1 wild card to get to the Classic. A lot of diversity in that schedule.
Absolutely.
We're going all over. Are we still, before I get to the Classic, are we still considering the Open tournament way down south?
So, I mean, there's definitely be on the lookout for several opportunities throughout the fall and throughout the season next year for Open tournaments. We want to do some fundraiser tournaments. We want to give back to the communities. I know we've talked about this before. We've also got some other stuff in store. I don't think we're going to talk about quite yet. Are we going to talk about?
I'm going to mention that. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. All right. So we'll get to that. But we've also talked about doing an open tournament for anyone that wants to fish. Now you will have to become a member.
I'll explain that to him in a second.
What he's going to explain in just a few, but down on
it's that lake in Cairo.
Cairo, yeah.
Whatever that new lake is in Cairo.
They just call it the 13. What was it? 13 pounder.
If you guys know what the lake is in Cairo, Georgia, we're just having a big brain fart right this second. But it's supposed to be like the biggest, baddest lake in South Georgia. So while he's looking that up, and somebody's giving me that answer, let me explain to you one big change from this year to last year. This year, if you wanted to fish in the elites, you had to pay basically was almost like a club due. Yep. Tired Creek. Tired Creek. So we're going to schedule an open tournament for anybody that wants to fish. We're all going to travel down there. It's a non-points event. It's just for fundraising stuff. But we're going to go all the way down to Florida to fish that tournament.
Yeah, so, I think it's just going to be fun.
It's just going to be a great weekend of guys and gals being together.
Yep.
And I'm going to get a shocker. So every time I say guys, not gals, you got to shot me.
Well, we talked about maybe December.
Yeah, so that's definitely going to be on the lookout. Be on the lookout for that. Real quick before I get to the Classic, this is something that is different than any other thing out there as far as the electric only that we're going to require people to do.
So this year we had $150 membership fee per team.
All right, so here's what we're doing in 2022. We are creating a 501c nonprofit organization under the umbrella of Fish North Georgia that will basically be the mothership for not only the elites, but other things that I'm getting ready to tell you. The reason we're doing this is for tax reasons, money reasons, but also too, sponsors they're much more able to give in a situation to a nonprofit where they can write off stuff. And it's much easier to get certain things from them, like even cash and stuff like that. Yeah. It makes more business sense. So what we're going to do, and we don't have a name of it yet, but think about BASS, B-A-S-S. So we're going to create an organization where anybody can join, but to fish an electric elite or any of the open, big lake, this is just future, big lake, kayak, other type tournaments that we are going to throw, and this is all coming. You have to be a member. And let's just say for tonight, we're going to call it X, Organization X. So instead of each team paying $150 membership fee, any individual can join, and it's going to be a $50 membership fee. Now, that $50 is not only going to get you the availability to fish and all these things that we're talking about, but also we're going to set it up to where companies and sponsors will give special discounts to our members and stuff like that. We feel by doing this, we're also allowing other anglers to join in part of this society that we're building. Okay. We're going to talk, I'm going to talk to all kinds of companies, just whatever I can do to give you guys deals. Let's say a rod company, if you're a member of X, you get 10%, 15% off rods at whatever retailer you go to, stuff like that. The key is you have to be a member of X to fish an Electric Elite event, an Electric Elite Open, or any of the other tournaments that we are going to throw.
So
and
we will not require a
Will not.
$150 membership fee from a per team, but it'll be a $50 membership fee to X
right
for
that individual,
and that covers any of our tournaments.
Yeah. And what's pretty cool about it is let's say we have an angler that doesn't fish tournaments, but he wants the benefits of what we're trying to build here. He's a member as well. Okay. So, and we're going to have, we'll do the stickers so people can identify you. There's a very famous commercial out there with Gerald Swindell, where he says, if I can't do his thing. If I see a member of BASS sticker, we got something in common already, or something like that. We got something in common already. Well, we're going to try to build that here in North Georgia and
throughout the South,
throughout the Southeast. So what you guys aren't seeing behind the scenes is we're going to start working in Alabama, Northern Florida, South Carolina, and Tennessee to build a BFL. We have had the thinking caps on, Philip. What we're going to do is we're going to create a BFL style organization, so that eventually what we will do is we will have elite trails in each of these states, and eventually a Southeastern champion, stuff like that. What else would that $50 membership get me if I join? Well, I'm gonna be honest with you, Michael. We're let's see.
You're getting
we're building
discounts.
You're definitely gonna get discounts on all our sponsors and stuff like that. I'm gonna make it worth. My goal is this. I told Chris this. Does that carry over year to year, or do we pay it annually?
Annually.
It will be a paid annual thing. What we're going to try to build is something to where, and I told Chris this is exactly what I told him. It might have been Aaron. I said, if they go shopping twice, I want them 2 or 3 times. I want them to pay for their membership right there.
Absolutely.
Well, it's something you can use.
Not only that, it's going to be it's not only for the elites.
Yep.
It's for a great cause.
It is.
So this 501c, say a fishery needs they don't have the funds, or the state's not giving the funds for a stocking program, bait stocking, fish stocking, whatever, stream stocking, whatever the case may be. Working with the local governing officials, we want to be able to give out of this 501c to give back to the community.
Right.
It's part of being something more than just X.
It's exactly right. So it basically, we were fishing Saturday. Chris and I fished Saturday. We're getting ready to talk about Allatoona here in a little bit. But one of the things I told him was, we were throwing names out, and this name is probably not going to stick, but it's just something similar to the Southeastern Sportsman's Angler Society. Okay, so it's broad enough to encompass all types of fishermen. It's broad enough to help out in any fisheries whatsoever that we want to help out in and be a part of that. It's broad enough to where, we can offer discounts from multiple different types of companies and stuff like that, may say a trout guy has no interest in buying a spinnerbait, but he may still definitely align with us. And again, I recommend aligning both with river keepers and the HOAs on lakes if there are smaller lakes.
Absolutely.
That's exactly what we're talking about. So
absolutely.
The only thing is, if you want to fish a tournament that's going to be put on by this organization, you have to be a member. So we will not allow people outside unless we decide to throw an occasional open tournament.
Yeah. And that would be the only way we would do that, I would think.
SAS, look, Sportsman's Anglers, Southeast Angler Sportsman Society is SAS, Patricia. Good Lord, I'm going to go back to talking about guys.
Hey, that's a good idea, though. If you have an idea for a name,
would love to hear it.
Yeah.
Okay. I will tell you this. It is not going to be Fish North Georgia.
Yep.
Not that we don't want the name of our company associated with it. This is under our umbrella, but we want to separate it.
We want it much larger.
We want to make it larger. This could be something that could go out definitely Southeast, and you never know how far it can go.
And I would say if we're going to throw some open tournament where we don't require membership, it's going to be a benefit for someone or someone's family,
absolutely.
Someone in the community.
Absolutely. But for the most part, and we're talking with other clubs and stuff about how to expand the elites even further in 2023, stuff like that. We've even talked about, subdivisions and stuff like that. Even if we do go that route to fish that, you have to be a member of X.
Real quick.
Yeah. Chris Taylor?
Yes.
Okay, absolutely. Go ahead.
So Chris just put up there. He's got to get off, but if everyone will keep the Marshall families in your prayers, the family was
we raised the money
for. John was sent home with hospice. The bone marrow transplant didn't take place.
All right, so listen, that's tough news. Definitely prayers up to them. Thanks for that, Chris. That's the one that we definitely jumped on. They had a tournament and all that. They did a raffle and stuff like that. That's always tough news. But then again, that's the reason why many of us, myself included, believe in something a little bit bigger than what we're doing here. And there's a big guy upstairs that has all that in control. So
prayers for the Marshall family.
Definitely, you guys keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And again, that's another thing too. It's just what you saw right there is kind of what we want to build this organization around, to where anybody at any given time could request that.
Absolutely.
In this organizational building. So again, that's where we're going with this. So again, $50 organization fee, no membership fee per team for the elite. So it's all going to be under this big umbrella. And again, all this information is going to be coming out over the next couple of months. This is just we're telling you this is what's going to happen, and we will get more details as we go.
Absolutely.
So
the final event,
classic 2-day event.
Yes, sir.
It's going to be July 16th and July 17th. On July 16th, you will have 22 boats competing. On July 17th, you will have the top 10. And the lake is?
Hard Labor Creek.
Hard Labor. We're going to the mother lake right there. So it's a lake that's set up. It's for a big lake, for a big tournament.
It is. It's set up for a big spectating crowd. It's set up for a great weigh-in. They've got a big parking lot, great facilities.
Yep.
Easy in and out. And we want this to be really big.
Yeah.
I mean, we want a huge turnout.
Yeah, fishing days. When it gets big enough, I'm calling that Bass will buy y'all out. Personal opinion. Look at me right now. No. Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen. Listen, we're doing it. We're trying to build a community, not a product. I ain't building a product to sell.
That's right.
We're not. This is just. We're gonna be a little bit different. We're not gonna build a product to sell. We're building a community and a goal. And I want all these. No, not even for $1 million. $50 million. I might think about it.
Oh.
50. Listen, I can't be bought. But I'm not a cheap date. Yeah. I'm not a cheap date. So. Actually, listen. No, actually, to be honest with you, if we're worth $50 million, I'm gonna buy Bass out. Well, that's right. Neither is it. Bass ain't owning me either. So there you go.
Yeah, if you get $50 million, you sold out.
I ain't selling out.
You're laying on your deathbed, going, give my money to my kids.
That's right. I can't take it with me though, and my kids can get a job and work for their own money. That's what it is. We're trying to build something where you guys can come up anytime here at the shop at Fish North Georgia and play checkers and just hang out.
That's right.
Money's one thing. And it's nice. Everybody talk money, but number one, it ain't gonna happen. And number two, I don't care what my wife says, it ain't gonna happen.
Hey, and I'm gonna tell you that the most I've really enjoyed this year, just the fellowship. I mean, we fished with people. We've met our goals this far in 2020. I mean, we've got to fish with some of the best anglers throughout the state, or I would say Middle Georgia up,
right,
north. As we said, we're crawling before we walk.
Yeah.
But the fellowship has been great. We want to continue that. That is our top priority, is everyone getting together, having a good time, and being able to fish against those that we don't normally fish against.
That's right. Absolutely.
It's been great.
And Michael, that's a good point. It's already been put down in my notebook. I'm glad somebody else is thinking that. Need to get some hotels to assist with discounts to help with overnight stay at some of the tournaments.
Yep.
Already in the works, buddy. Already thought about that. But again, I want somebody that's got our sticker to go to Florida and be able to get the same discount. It's going to happen at one point. We're going to build this, and that's the goal like that. So the beauty of this is that it's going to grow. It's going to keep growing. And what's really cool about this is if you're not a Southeastern Anglers Association, I like that. I like it. And that's what, and again, anglers, Southeastern, got to be bigger than North Georgia, especially if we want to go down south and whip them Valdosta boys and all them down in South Georgia. We got to go whip them at some point too. So
Yeah.
but we want to include everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the cool thing is, listen, in this brain, it's scary sometimes. I'm glad not everybody see what goes on in my head, but catfish tournaments, crappie tournaments, kayak tournaments, big lake tournaments. You never know. We might have the Southeastern Anglers Association Big Lake Trail in 2024. So it's coming. All right. Again, so did you get, Blake, do I need to mention that tournament again? You get anybody call on that yet?
We've got 6.
We got 6. Also, real quick, while we're talking about tournaments, looking for 3. Sign me up right now, Michael Temples. There you go. I will, buddy. I'm going to get it all put down before we put this out. If anybody's wanting to fish a little Fish North Georgia tournament out of Little Hall tomorrow night, we need 3 more boats. Yeah, we might try to make this a more often thing. And brim tournaments, absolutely. Listen, I got all kinds of crazy things, but tomorrow night we're going to throw a little one out of Little Hall. We need 3 more boats. $30 as a Facebook post. You can comment. We need 3 more boats. First 3 that comment will get in $30. This is just for fun, but we're definitely going to make it into something. And yeah, don't comment unless you're going to come, because I don't want to take your money. Unless you're really going to, I'm going to take, nobody's taking an ass whipping here. All right. Not me. You're going to beat me tomorrow? You just worry about beating your brother. I want to make sure you beat your brother.
Side money that I beat you.
You'll bet side money?
I bet $100.
Do you have $100?
You think I'm broke?
I just asked if you had $100. Do you have $100 that you can willingly lose?
I just got steamy.
You got steamy? You're playing with Biden bucks. Biden bucks.
I'll put Biden's money on
Biden bucks.
Tournament.
Hey, yeah, we probably can get some discount at the Sunrise Inn and Suites over in Rome, especially if you live in that room all the way in the back. That's sketchy.
Did I miss the entry fee per team for each tournament? Also,
Okay, so it's still going to be the same as this year. It's $135 per tournament, or is it? What do we charge?
no. So the entry fee per tournament is I think it was 120. I can't even remember.
We can't even remember what we charge now. Pull up your thing. Anyway, if you're fishing Saturday, we're going to be there very early. If you're fishing the elite tournament, we're going to try to blast off by 6:45. So we need to be there early if you're going to fish Hickory Log to make sure that we're there. Did I miss? Also, if fishing the qualifier tournaments, what is the entry fee? Same as a regular tournament.
Yes,
Um,
that will be the same.
Michael Temples, you're going to fish tomorrow. All right, you can bring it in. This is for the at Little Hall. Comment on the Facebook page. If you can check off real quick. Comment on the Facebook page that on the post that Blake put on. Again, 5 to 9, $30 a boat. It's very cheap. We're doing this for fun. So beat the dust off the rods. We don't need to say that on air anymore. That's for us old guys. You just totally not getting what I'm saying. So, I am old. So anyway, let Blake.
Yes.
All right. So we get on the elites. Once you get the tournament thing, if anybody's got any questions, fly fishing tournaments are about like chasing the stocker truck here. Hey, we can do that though. Stocker trout. I'm sure he's saying that, but we can do that. We'll figure that out.
So you're right. It's $130 per tournament.
$130 per tournament, and the opens will be $130 per tournament. Now, the opens, we will tell you right now, we are going to be using that money to some of it. It will not be 100% payback in open tournament. Some of that fee we talked about putting back into the elites, into the X, whatever thing X. So that's fine, Michael. You can cut out. We're getting ready to get Blake and all them in. If you guys have any questions on the elites, now listen, there's also one other thing that I can just tell you this, and all I'm going to say is this. This I can promise you. And I'm not going, until we make sure it's set in stone, I'm not going to give you a dollar amount. But I promise you, and Chris can kind of verify, he'll just give you a yes, that if what we have planned happens, it will be the single, well, right now we're probably the single biggest payout in electric only in Georgia anyway.
Yeah.
It's going to be a lot more. What is our payout this year if you win the Classic, first place?
If you win the Classic and Angler of the Year, we're right at $17,000.
Right at 17,000 if you win Angler Team of the Year and the Classics, about $17,000 in cash and prizes. I can already go ahead and tell you this. It's going to be much higher. That's all I'm going to say. Chris kind of knows the money I'm talking about. I can't say it here. I want to make sure we get it. I just promise you.
It's special.
It ain't going to have no straight number in the front. It won't start with a 1. If you guys get my drift, there'll be a crooked number in the front. So that's all I'm going to say about that. We're going to leave you hanging with that now.
So two things. So there's 2 changes to the rules next year.
Oh, I didn't even think about rules. Go ahead.
So the 2 changes to the rules. One is there will not be a membership fee,
right,
of $150.
That's right. You got to be a member. You got to be an X.
Yep, member of X. The second is you must fish all 6 events to qualify for the fish off or the wild card. The wild card tournament. You must fish all 6 events to qualify for the wild card. Now, if you for some reason you can't make it and you pay your entry fee, we'll count that as a qualification. I mean, we had that come up where, you may have for this year, for example, if you and your partner both had COVID, just say that.
That's a little bit, yeah.
Then you pay your entry fee. I know it's still kind of tough because you're not getting a chance to win that back, but it still qualifies you for the wild card tournament.
Right. So Blake, is it on Fish North Georgia Facebook or the group page? Group page, Fish. Yeah, Blake's getting ready to come on and he can talk about it real quick. Can I go ahead and tell him about the way we're going to make people pay too? About the 3, 4, 5? You want to go ahead and do that? Or you want to wait?
Well, I would say so. There's
going to be special arrangements too. The way we're going to make.
We are going to ask for 3 events up front. Yep, 3 events up front.
So that's one change too. Is that, and here's the reason why. With a 40 boat field, we're going to ensure that the money for the Classic is there.
Yep.
Very easy for a lot of guys and a lot of things that let's just say they're having a bad year to drop out. So what we are planning on right now,
and there's still discussion.
It's still discussion. This is not set in stone, but one of the things we're floating around is if you want to fish the elites and you're accepted and all that, you've got to pay up front for tournaments 4, which will be Lucas, Brushy Branch, and Hickory Log. You got to pay for those 3 tournaments, 4, 5, and 6 up front. Then that way, nobody can drop out middle of the year because they're not doing good and the money not be there. That way, we maintain our money integrity. That's one of the things we're talking about. So you would pay that up front and then tournament 1, tournament 2, 3. Just certain things like that. Now, that's got a little bit of that's fluid, but there's just ways. We want to make sure that when we tell somebody we're going to pay them X amount of dollars, that at the end of the year, they're going to get X amount of dollars.
So with that being said, it would be $195 up front per person. Plus,
and this is not member of X plus
your member of X, so it's $245.
$245 per person up front. Then you will have to pay for tournaments 1, 2, and 3 at the tournaments, and then you're paid for the rest of the year.
That's right.
And that way, the money, when we set a money scale out that says you're going to get paid, the tournaments this year will be the same. Group A winner will get 1,000. Group B winner will get 1,000 in each tournament.
That's right.
But when we get to the Classic, we want to make sure we maintain that all the way through.
Well, and it's just so that we can put out an accurate number. We don't want to put out something that we're having to adjust.
Yeah. So when we say
we don't want to move and target,
we'll give everybody before the year. Here's the money, where you finish and what it is for each group, all the way up to the Classic, minus any bonuses that could happen.
Yeah.
That sound pretty good. I'm just telling you guys, there's some good stuff going on. All right, guys. So here's what we're going to do. If you have any questions about the elites, a couple of things. Number one, if you want to know where an application is, we encourage you to fill out an application. All right. You can go to the Electric Elite Facebook page, and there is a pinned post at the top. Download the application. Remember, you got to have, it's a team application, not an individual application. You don't need no money right now, but we need your applications by July 1st.
That's right.
Got quite a few people already got their applications in. We encourage everybody to definitely go ahead and apply. All right. So definitely need to go ahead and do that. And good grief. I don't know. I had another thought and it's late and I forgot it.
Well, last year we put our cutoff to
July 1st is what it is right now. Yeah.
Yep. July 1st for the applications.
Uh-huh.
But our members, our our memberships last year, which will be a membership to X,
Yep.
$50 a person, plus the 3 will probably be, and we're not setting this in stone yet, but it'll be in November again.
Yeah. Gotcha.
That way we can go ahead and get that in, get everything situated. That gives us a little bit of time to get everything where it needs to be in the 501c and the money put where it needs to be before the tournament trail starts.
We're trying to build this in the right way. And again, I want to encourage everybody this. Regardless of what you think, apply. Now we can't take but 20 others, but if there's somebody back there that might say, hey, I run this club and they may not listen. We want to put the best anglers in this field, and we want to put good anglers in this field, and we want to see people compete and see them grow. So we definitely want you to join the organization that we're going to build, and definitely take the time to fill out an application, because you don't know how many applications have you received so far. Let's just put it this way: enough. There's a lot of interest in it. However, I'm going to say this. There is a lot of open room for these applications. Just because there's a lot of people that knew us put them in early, that doesn't mean nothing. We encourage you to do that. And I will tell you this, and this you have my promise. I will answer each and every application personally. If you're not chosen in the 10, I will tell you you've got to do the fish off, and I will tell you why. What was my reasoning behind it? I have no problem being honest with you and doing
Absolutely.
that. I'm not worried. I'm not hurting anybody's feelings, but I'm being very upfront. If you've not fished in tournaments before in your life, I'm just going to be honest with you. I want you to apply. Go ahead and get your name on the radar. But I might tell you, you know what? You might want to go fish with another group for 1 year. And I'm just going to take, because Joey Morris asked a question, can we pay the entire year up front if we want to? Absolutely, you can. And I would encourage that. That's kind of the rule that I wanted to do, but that's tough for some people. I get it. But Joey runs Electric Bass Opens.
Yep.
You have no experience whatsoever. I might tell you, hey, you know what? Go to Electric Bass Opens and fish it for a year. You're on our radar. We have your name. We're going to pay attention to what you do. Here's what I think you need to work on, and we will watch you grow and mature as an angler, as a team, and then apply the following year. And we're going to keep working on it. And if you keep going, eventually this thing's going to get big enough to where if you have committed to it, if you have an integrity that we're looking for, if you have a social media presence too, that helps. It ain't required, but it helps. That we're looking for. A lot of factors go into it. So you guys got to remember this. So we want to put out a product to where it's respected, but I'll be honest with you. And Chris will tell you the same way. If my daughter, God bless her soul, I love her, if she filled out an application, I'd say, honey, this ain't for you. You don't make the cut. You need to do this. And I wouldn't say cut. I would just say you need to fix, work on your craft a little bit.
And we've already put plans, or we're putting plans into place for the 2023 season.
Yes.
We're already discussing that.
And we have even had some discussions, and I'm not going to call them feeder groups or feeder divisions, but we're working out ways to where each year there's a transition, so that I will go ahead. Can I go ahead and tell them about the bottom four, kind of like that?
Yeah,
let's throw that out
this
there.
Year.
After this year, this is not this year. This is 2022.
2022 season.
Yep.
There will be, and we haven't come up with a hard number yet, but there will be, if you finish below a certain number out of the 40 boats, that you will fall out automatically, and you'll be able to fish your way back into it through for now, we'll call it a feeder group.
Call it a feeder for right now, the feeder division, but that's not what we're going to call it. So, like, if you're not good enough, and I would say this, and when I say not good enough, let's say experienced enough. Good enough.
Everybody has off years too.
Absolutely. Let's just say,
that could be me.
I'm talking about well, not really for you, but that's okay.
No, it could definitely be.
But I'm just saying for somebody that's new, and you want to be a part of this, you're going to join X. We appreciate that. We're gonna nurture you and all that. You need to start out in one of these divisions, work your way up, because when that bottom group drops down, the top part of however we establish will automatically rise. And so there'll be some fluidness every single year.
Yeah.
Can you fish alone, or do you have to have a partner? As far as the elites, you have to have a partner.
You have to have a partner.
It has to be a team thing. As far as tomorrow night, you can fish alone.
Yeah.
Just bring you $30 like that. Any updates on non-electronics tournament? Not yet. We're gonna get through bed season and we'll work on that. We're trying to do this right now. So if you have you got some ideas for that. You want to listen. Why don't you come on real quick? You two come on. Jacob, Fleming, and Blake are going to join us. We're going to finish out the last 30 minutes of this episode. We're going to talk about Allatoona and whatever they want to do. It is a perfect time for me to get a bathroom break. If you have any questions whatsoever on the electric elites, okay, you can message Chris Gayton or Danny Pruitt, myself, on Facebook. Just send us a message. Be specific. If you have comments, whatever, we don't mind. We'll listen to them. We may not agree with you, but we'll listen to them. We'll be adults. We'll listen to them. If you're in the elites now, we welcome your comments. And if you're not, we want this to be. He still can't find a post about tomorrow night. Michael Temples, you're in. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it. You're in tomorrow night. We'll figure it. It's on. So Michael Temples, you're in. Bring you $30. Little Hall be there. Be ready to blast off by 5. But again, hit us. You can hit us at Fish North Georgia. You can hit us on the Electric Elite page. You can message us.
Yep.
If you know us personally, go ahead and send us a text.
Friends with us personally.
Friends with
whatever.
us. We encourage you to speak out, speak your mind. Not saying we're going to agree with you, but we are willing to listen to intelligent, well thought out suggestions about how we can grow this. Huh? Ideas.
Yep.
All right. So with that being said, I hope
sure we don't have any more comments.
Have we got any more comments real quick? Paul, can you scroll down and make sure we're not missing anybody? Right there. So July on Lanier, maybe. Okay, so I think we're good. I think
good deal.
So anyway, now I'm gonna let
I'll talk about tomorrow night and maybe
talk about tomorrow night real quick.
Ideas for the no tournament.
You can do that.
I'm gonna beat you up there real quick. I gotta take a
You better hurry, buddy. I'm gonna use that sink right over there. And nobody wants to see me pee in public. All right, so anyway, guys, hey, listen.
Yep.
Be very serious on the Electric Elite. No, not you guys. I'm
you never know.
to-
Me and Blake was talking about it.
You guys need to join, fella.
We may join.
If we can find an electric rig,
If we can
I
get
know
an
where
electric-
you can buy anything for an electric rig that
and
you may know.
that's at Fish North
Fish
Georgia.
North Georgia.
Yeah,
We
Fish
have
North
up
Georgia's
to
got
Guys, like I
everything you
said, Fish North Georgia, they just got a firm.com. I have personally used a firm twice already. I've bought a trolling motor and I've bought a what else was it I bought? I bought my Humminbird or
your Garmin.
my Garmin graph off of it. I
Live
bought my
scope.
live scope with a firm, and I also used a firm to buy my bow. It's a great process, guys. You can do a 12-month payment plan or a 24-month payment plan. If you've got decent credit, 9 times out of 10, they're going to accept you. And like I said, the interest rate isn't really high. I think on my Garmin, I'm only paying, I think it came out to $200 worth of interest.
Right.
So it's the original price of the graph.
right.
And if you pay off in a certain amount of months, you don't even have to pay that interest.
Yeah,
So
That's
So
right.
you're
So
good.
if you're in the market for a graph, any kind of electronics, trolling motors, e-propulsion
You
motors,
can get
Elko,
Elko
e-propulsion,
motors.
that's
You
right.
said you can get batteries.
batteries,
Batteries,
anything like
and
that.
I've got some. I'm in talks with some lithium companies coming in here,
Be good.
and we will be officially opening very, very soon. Even if I don't have the store set up the way I want, got some information from the county and all that. So
And I've got
we
a
definitely
guy.
can do that, and we're going to open. We're going to have regular store hours. You got to come work Saturdays for me when I'm working.
If you need me to, I
Oh, we
can.
might do that
Yeah.
when I'm fishing.
I've got a local guy, guys, that's out of Jasper. He is a welder. He works on aluminum boats and anything like that. He will actually build aluminum boats from the ground up. His name is Josh Amos. He's a local guy. He's been welding since we got out of high school. He builds high quality boats. He's worked at a lot of different companies. Any kind of upgrade you're wanting to make to your boat, he can get out there with you. I think they're Wild to Mild Fabricating. And like I said, they're local right here out of Jasper, Georgia. But as far as tomorrow night for our tournament, I think we're up to 6 boats. I think
Should
that's what it
be
was.
7 now
7 boats now.
because of Michael Temples.
Yeah, I made a Facebook post. It's on our page. My phone died a couple minutes ago, so I'm not able to see who's actually signed up. But I've got a couple names down, and there's some spots. If you want to fish tomorrow night, 5 to 9, $30, no dead fish. Get on the Facebook page, find the post, put your name, put your partner. Don't put it unless you're going to come. We want to try to have maximum
Also,
boats.
I think what the weigh-in was going to be live.
Weigh-in is going to be
We're
live.
actually going to have the weigh-in
Yep.
live, so that's going to be pretty cool.
It'll be
So
live on the Facebook
check it
page.
out. I mean, even if you're not able to attend, just log in and
What I would like
Watch.
is possibly be able to do this every other Wednesday, maybe when I'm not working. If it came down to that, I'm fine to run a 9-boat tournament every other Wednesday.
yeah.
If it got bigger and there was more boats willing to get in it,
We could
I'd try to
definitely-
pull some permits.
yeah, we could definitely look into that.
But it's going to be a good time, guys. It's we don't want no arguing. We don't want anybody trying to fight or anything like that. This is literally just to try to get ready for the night tournaments. I know a lot of guys like to fish the night tournaments. As far as I know, we may be the first night tournament on Lanier this year as of Wednesday night.
I
Maybe.
think there may be one more that has already started.
Yeah.
Well, you got one electric boat showing up.
Yeah, we've got one electric
Yeah,
boat showing up.
yeah,
I don't
that
know
is
those
true.
boys' names. What are their names? Do you know 'em?
Jesse and who is showing Jesse?
Who is
and-
the electric boys showing up for tomorrow, Danny? The electric boys that were showing up for tomorrow night. Do you know their names off the top of your head?
Jesse
Jesse
Juan.
Juan.
Jesse and Juan.
Juan.
So,
Yeah,
guys,
sorry.
electric boats are welcome. If you want to get in it, like I said, I put a post
man.
out on the Facebook page. It's going to be a first come, first serve. Do not put your name unless you're 100% coming. That way we know exactly who's going to come. If y'all want to show up, guys, come up. It's going to be $30 a boat. No dead fish. We're going to fish 5 to 9. And like I said, I'd love to see this grow. Maybe do it every other Wednesday. If it got big enough, we may be able to pursue to try to get some permits or something like that.
That's right.
Like I said, we just want to get out, have some fun. And that's what it boils down to. So
Gotcha.
Casey, do you know exactly when those tuna night tournaments start? Is
Yeah.
it the end of April?
because Altoona starts up and they usually do a Monday nighter and a Wednesday nighter.
Wednesday
I know me and
nighter.
Jake
You getting
has
loaded up?
fished a lot of those.
Also,
Yeah.
did they change
Chris?
from
You
Victoria
getting
to
trying to figure out.
I think they changed ramps.
So
I
you
can't
got
remember.
It changed from Victoria to somewhere else.
Yeah, it's just right down the lake.
All right. So,
Lake.
okay. So we're going to
So-
do a tournament tomorrow night.
so here's your lineup
Gulf
so far:
Ferry, I think.
Lineup.
For what?
Blake and Jacob,
Mhm.
Justin Buchanan, Danny and Jonathan,
That's right. I'm bringing a
Byron,
Byron.
Byron
I think
Hendricks.
Byron.
Byron's going to be fishing by himself tomorrow night.
Jesse and Juan.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like
Ryan Sidefield's number 6.
Ryan Sheffield, and then Michael
Michael
Temple.
Temple.
So that leaves us what, two or three boats?
That's right. Kool-Aid
So
man.
he's
be
number
here.
7. so that'll leave you 2 boats.
Yeah.
We need 2 boats.
Yeah,
All right.
two
we're
boats.
looking for 2 more boats, guys. Like I said, we're just wanting to get out, have a good time. If
Yeah.
a lot of people show up and they're wanting to fish it, we may end up trying
Break
to
the rules.
pursue some permits or something like that.
Right.
So,
So when you
Casey
go to
said
fish
first week of May for Monday nighters, and yes, it is at Galt's Ferry.
Now that's for the Altoonas on Monday
Right.
nights.
Alton. What were you
Yeah.
saying?
So when you're looking for this post, make sure that you are going to the Fish North Georgia group page.
You found it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I said, I posted
It's,
it about an hour ago when my phone died.
Second or third post down.
Perfect. Second, third post down. All right. Now let's talk Altoona.
They're spawning.
No, they ain't.
Yes, they are.
Uh,
Yes,
there
they
is
are.
spawn.
Let's
Little bit.
Let's talk
Listen,
about just fishing
guys,
in general.
Fishing in general, I have made a lot of phone calls this week. I have covered probably 350 miles worth of fishing in the weekend.
Wait, hold on a second. You have Instagram? You do Instagram, right?
Yes,
sir.
We
do.
have
We
one.
both have
Yes.
one.
Okay, I know we have a Fish North Georgia one, but Josh normally does that. I can figure it out. If
Mm-hmm.
any of y'all can do live Instagram broadcasts while you're fishing tomorrow, let us know. I'd tune in for that.
I can do that, Philip.
I do plan on doing a quick live here and there on the Fish North Georgia group page and on the Fish North Georgia group page, the weigh-in.
And as of right now, me and Danny plan on fishing the Hammonds Digital Tournament on Thursday,
That's right.
and we're going to try to have at least one GoPro running the whole tournament.
I'll charge. Yeah, we'll
So-
do stuff like that. See how that goes.
If we're working a big bed fish, I might jump on the Facebook page and go live and see what that, because that's what I'm planning on doing.
Is that what
Thursday.
you plan on doing? That's fine.
We're going to be bed
And I'm
fishing.
gonna bring this Fish North Georgia popcorn because places like Hammond's and Dugouts don't have it.
Yeah. Hey,
There
if
you
y'all want,
go.
if y'all want some
I love
good,
you guys.
if y'all want some good popcorn, come up here. Danny will pop us some.
Yeah.
I've had 3 bags of it tonight
That's
since
good.
I've been here. I'm
Have you
not
been
gonna-
eating popcorn the whole time?
I've been back here.
Listen,
munching on
we got here at the store. We got like a movie theater popcorn
it.
machine.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
good,
good.
too.
That's right.
Really
No
good.
other place has that. So y'all suck it. I'm just kidding.
But if we're
It is
going
good popcorn.
to talk about good fishing, like I said, I've covered a lot of miles in the past weekend.
Right.
I've been from Hartwell all the way to Lanier. Hartwell is absolutely happening right now, guys. If you want to run points and catch spots, you can catch them all day long. The largemouth are spawning like crazy on Hartwell. I think we found 30 beds and only had 5 that didn't bite. We absolutely murdered them on Hartwell.
Okay,
Chatoog.
so we didn't have that
Chatoog is
experience.
good.
So Saturday.
No, so well, we didn't have the weather to sight fish Saturday. I mean,
I
the
agree.
fish have been
And we're on Allatoona. You and I
yes,
fished Allatoona together.
Allatoona, Stamp Creek, with EBO. So the fish have been spawning for the last month.
Mm-hmm.
You had I think a lot of fish moved up this week.
Yep.
Over the weekend this week.
Mhm.
And it's going to be really strong this weekend, I believe.
Right.
I feel like the bigger females are going to move up this week with a lot warmer weather. It's a lot more stable. You're not having as many cold nights. The weather's really good. I feel like a lot of the big females are about to
Plus,
come up.
you got the full moon.
You got a full
tonight.
moon tonight, also.
But
Yeah.
didn't you say though? But
I
it,
thought it was new moon.
is it full moon or new
New
moon?
moon,
Okay.
yeah.
New moon.
Okay. But didn't you say? And I'm talking to Chris because when we were fishing Saturday, that even you, we went in some pockets.
Yep.
That even you were surprised.
Yep.
That we did not see what we expected to see on tuna.
Yeah, but I think since then, those pockets probably.
Oh, they're
have
there
fish.
now because we're done fishing it.
Yeah, I mean, so there were some pockets that we went into that we covered. They were out on the main lake.
Yes.
Water temperature was 64 main lake.
Right.
And I was blown away that we didn't find fish.
So they
in
wasn't
those
stacked up in it.
pockets. No.
When we went to Hartwell on Saturday, we got up there as soon as the sun came up, and we didn't leave till 4:00. There was 5, 6, 7 beds in every pocket. It blew my mind. I've bed fished a ton. That's my year. That's my time of year to catch them. And I've never been on Hartwell, but it blew my mind how many fish were moved up. I mean, you couldn't go down the bank without seeing one spawning. It was absolutely
Like
amazing.
Cody said,
Sorry,
right
I didn't
there,
see. Yeah.
I didn't see the first fish on bed Saturday at Chatoog.
Well, here's how Chris and I kind of figured we was messing with the bedfish is again, and I told you upstairs, if we threw in the specific spot, got a bite and missed, if you threw back in that very same specific spot, you couldn't be 2 foot to the left or 2 foot to the right. But if you nailed it,
Yeah.
you
gonna
get a
get
bite.
bed
And
fish.
Chris was
And-
like, "That's a bedfish. I mean,
and
that's
that's-
either a buck or whatever." But
that's
we couldn't see them.
And was it spots?
Yes.
Well, we,
Yeah,
caught,
see,
we didn't
that's,
catch any
that's
large
usually
mouth.
a dead giveaway with spots.
Yep.
Is being able to make the exact cast over and over. A lot of times, largemouth, yeah, sight fishing, whatever. But spots is pretty fun.
They're so
because,
much more
I mean,
aggressive.
you can sit there and make the same cast and miss
mean-
that fish 15
Oh, we
times.
did that a
was-
lot, didn't we?
Man, we pulled up at one spot and we circled back to it. We caught a fish off of it. You
Mhm.
caught a fish off of it super shallow.
Mm-hmm.
It's a male, bright red eyes,
Mhm.
dead giveaway.
That was pretty cool too. Their
Yeah,
eyes
was that a
were-
spot
they
or a
were-
large
they were
spot?
spot. We didn't
Now,
catch no large
I'm
mouth.
going to ask y'all this about spots, and this is what I told. Me and you talked about this last year. When I catch a spot, apparently that is spawning on a point. Their eyes is as yellow as could be.
Yeah, that's what
Yeah.
Chris Gayton said. Yeah,
Red,
Yeah.
yellow eyes.
red, yellow eyes. It was.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
what he was
Yeah,
saying.
that's a
It
dead
was,
giveaway.
So
Yeah.
he
School bus yellow eyes mean that spot is
or
spawning.
orange.
or orange. These were
I'm
orange.
colorblind,
Yeah.
so it looks
Yeah,
yellow.
you
to me.
are.
Yeah,
But
I didn't know.
I'm
that.
just
Oh, he
saying.
is.
I'm
Yeah,
just
he
saying.
is. He
So-
is. He keeps reminding me of that too. I make fun because like, man, I can't see colors, and I'm like, oh, that's right. I forgot.
Yeah. So we circled back to that. He caught one
Mhm.
on that point. I mean, in a specific spot.
Yep.
All right. We circled back to it. An hour later, we
Right.
fished a couple humps,
Mhm.
went back to that point. I made a cast up there. I got half a worm back.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right. I throw back up there, miss it again.
It was funny too.
He threw up there. He missed
It
it.
aggravates you
Yeah.
because they just pick the tail up and they run it off the bed and drop it.
But the good thing with that is,
You know
they're
what it
going to keep biting.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean,
I finally get the bite. I set the hook. I'm thinking this was the female. We never seen her. I mean,
Yep.
the wind was blowing. It was overcast. It was churned up a little bit out there on the main
Yeah,
lake.
and it wasn't exactly on the bank. You were off the bank a little
Yeah.
bit. Yeah.
But I mean, it took me. I casted like 10 times one time. I was on spot lock, standing on the back of the boat with
Yeah.
Danny, and casting
Yeah.
like 10 times because the wind was
Yeah.
blowing. It kept blowing my bait off.
Yeah.
And finally got it, hit the spot, got the bite, set the hook, snapped my line.
Yeah, he did because he
I
did
was
spend so much
like,
time in the
You know,
rocks.
it's funny.
Dude, them
So
rocks are
when
terrible.
we rode up to Hartwell we rode up Friday, I watched Justin work a bedfish. It was a largemouth. He worked it for 15 minutes. I'm gonna call it the Millsap special the swim jig.
Yeah.
He broke the swim jig off. Fish swallowed his swim jig, broke it off. My brother, he don't listen to me a lot. He don't use heavy line when he's bed fishing, especially sight fishing. I use braid.
Yeah.
If I'm gonna set the hook, I'm gonna jack him.
Yeah.
He's a fluorocarbon kid. Broke the millsap special in the fish's mouth. Broke a Z-crawl in the fish's mouth.
Same fish.
Same fish. I turn around 2 pitches later, catch the fish. Had both his baits right in his mouth.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
So-
I'm dead
so-
serious.
So
And after he cranked on these fish and broke his line both times, I was still able to pitch in there. When you get a fish fired up on a bed,
Oh man,
it's gonna happen.
I meant to say hey to Michael Fox too at the tournament with EBO. He comes in here a lot, and I didn't see him. So he said he caught all theirs very shallow on Saturday. Had one largemouth.
Yep.
But we didn't catch a largemouth,
no.
but that was funny. I mean, Chris set the hook and his line was gone.
where y'all
Man.
putting in Saturday?
We
or
this-
that was this past Saturday.
Yeah,
Where'd
we
y'all
put it in
at?
Stamp Creek,
Stamp Creek.
and we went through the marina. We got out on the main lake a little
Got
bit.
on the main lake fishing shallower humps.
Windy and rainy, man.
Yeah.
Windy and
Well,
rainy.
Even our club tournament at Chateau, I had one largemouth. One other person had a largemouth.
And that was it?
That was
Mhm.
it as far as largemouth.
Now, do you
goes.
think it's because, spots biting? It don't matter. Spots bite no matter what. But do you think the weather shut down the largemouth bite this past weekend, or
Probably
do you think
hard-
it's
not-
spawning?
probably
Not
harder to see 'em on the
necessarily.
bed.
I don't think the
Or we just wasn't putting them
I
with the
think
spot
that the
largemouth
weather,
were.
made it harder to actually see the largemouth.
And if you didn't have spot lock, it was about impossible to stay on them.
I'll say this: the one largemouth that I did catch, I thought there was a bed up there. Worked my bait through, and when I got it from the bed, maybe a few feet out, is when I actually caught that largemouth.
Well, let me ask y'all this, because this would be really interesting. Because if everybody knows, we've mentioned Jesse, the Jesse special, Jesse Millsap's true
Swim
grit
jig.
guy, swim jig, bed fishing extraordinaire is
Mhm.
what I've been
Yep.
told by people that are not Jesse himself.
He
But I've been
is
told
Absolutely.
when it comes to bed fishing, they don't get much better than Jesse
Mhm.
Millsap, at least
I
around
agree.
here.
Yep.
I watched, and if you watched the Eufaula tournament, he worked and he did something interesting. Is what he did was he would let the buck
Yes.
pick it up, take it off,
Mhm.
drop it, and he used that over. He wouldn't set the hook on the buck to try to fire up that female. Now, the one that they had on camera, he finally fired her up and he nailed her.
Yeah.
Yep.
She finally just got ticked off enough. But when you work a bed, now we're fishing tournament, and
Yep.
there may be bass on bed this weekend. What's your idea about that? Do you say, okay, that's a good 2-pound buck, I'm gonna nail him, or do you have the patience enough to say, you know what, let him carry that
It
thing off?
depends what the kind of
Eh.
you can tell.
Okay, all right,
every
what
fish
kind of
has
mood is it?
every fish has a personality.
Mhm.
They're just like people, and I think there's a lot. I try to gauge it by the first pitch.
Uh-huh.
It tells me a lot about a fish.
Okay, so what are you looking for?
Well, first of all, if they're aggressive,
Right.
if the
They swim
female's
off.
hanging tight, if they swim off, like he said, if they make a big circle, if they swim out and they turn right around, they turn back around on your bait, they nose up on it. There's a lot of telltale factors that go into that.
Right.
And it's not that I don't want to say, it's that you cannot explain that in a video. You just have to do it.
You have
You have to
That's
spend
good.
time
That's
doing it.
right.
I
That's
feel,
right. That's a
I
good
feel
guy.
like guys that are really good at spawn fishing, I feel like one, you have to go to multiple lakes and you got to chase that throughout the year to get really good at it. I mean, take for example, we was up at Hartwell, we're catching a lot of bucks. We found one bed that 2 females were fighting over it. And I'm sure you've seen it because
Yep.
I know you like to spawn fish a lot too. What these aggressive females, you can see them sometimes, they'll be totally locked on with the male sitting there kind of outside the bed. Sometimes you'll have 2 females sitting on the outskirts of the bed, and if you throw up there, the buck will kind of swim off, then females will come up and you will catch the female.
So
It just depends what kind of mood those fish are in. Timing is also a big thing.
Yep.
You can say you find a 5-pound female early in the morning, the buck's hitting it. You're not setting the hook on them, but that female, she'll keep coming up there kind of nudging it. She ain't going to pick it up. If you wait and let the sun get up, say 12 o'clock, you can go back up there 9 times out of 10, that female's ready to eat. If that buck is going to kind of back away from that bait, she's going to come up there and grab it because it's making her mad because she's wanting to get up there and lay on
She's
that bed
typical.
and put her eggs.
She's typical
Mhm.
woman.
Typical woman.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Sorry,
And
Patricia.
that's what happened to me with our biggest fish that we caught the other day on Hartwell. She was about 4.5, close to 5, maybe, short, chunky fish. The buck would run up to my Z crawl and he'd just look at it, and she would get mad and come up and nose it. I popped her in the nose twice. That third time I got it in the bed, almost popped her with it. She swallowed it, set the hook.
I got you.
So I was fortunate enough to fish with another great bed fisherman.
Okay.
He's well known for it throughout. I fished the HD Marines with him.
Mm-hmm.
My wife's family, but we fished together for a while. Danny Tinsley.
Okay, that
He
name's, I
taught
know that
me
name.
a lot about bed fishing. I think he fishes now with Daryl Strayhorn.
Yep.
And
And they're really strong in the spring.
Oh my goodness.
Really strong in the spring on there. Everywhere.
Daryl's pretty strong.
Yeah,
any,
everywhere.
any time of the year.
But that duo right there is
yeah. They're both great fishermen and great guys. But something else I may do is I may lay off for a second, just let the fish do their thing. I may throw a swim bait across them, fire them up, and then follow it up with a bed bait.
Here's another thing that I've noticed. A lot of times, especially in team tournaments, you'll have one guy on the front of the boat pitching. Both of y'all be up there pitching. Have a follow-up bait ready to come through.
And a different bait.
Yeah.
A different bait.
A
There's been
different
many
bait.
times that me and Jacob's fish, I'll be throwing black and blue because I can kind of see that translucent color, and he might be throwing it all white. There's a lot of guys that I've seen, they just keep one guy on the front of the boat and they're just presenting one bait. Try presenting two. A lot of times that is going to get
That's
you
how
more
I figured
success
out
rate.
the Ned rig was so daggum good, because Josh was throwing that. What's that white trailer? That crawl kind of trailer with the red.
It could be a Z crawl.
Christy crawl?
anything.
Huh?
There's a
Can't
lot of
talk
baits
about
out
that.
there.
There's a lot of baits. I know you can't
No,
talk about
well,
that.
no,
You know what I'm talking about. But he was
No, it's
throwing
just
it.
a gambler.
He
bait.
was throwing the typical what a lot of people throw, high visibility.
Yeah.
I can see it, and they weren't hitting it. And then I threw a green pumpkin Ned rig right in there, and they can't. I don't care what anybody says. They can't stand a green
But-
pumpkin Ned rig.
Well, you
With
have
that-
that thing tied on Thursday.
With that being
I
said,
will.
though, and to your point, that works a lot. But you may pull up on one fish and you present it with two baits, and it may leave.
Yeah. No, that's true.
That's what I'm saying
Back
about
to the
every
personality
fish.
of the boat.
Learn
of
your
the
every
fish.
fish.
learn your distance too, because there's a lot of those fish that if you got too close, they'd swim off. But if you backed up another 5 foot and you made, I was honestly pitching up on the bank, pulling my bait into the water, to that bed. It makes them, what'd you say, calmer?
Yeah,
Makes them not as scared if you back
When
up
there's
a little
no
further.
splash and the boat's back a little bit and all that.
Any time I'm bed fishing, I'm trying to throw past that bed and present my bait by pulling it into the
question.
bed.
Yeah, I got a couple questions on that, and Michael had two. There's one up. He wanted to know first. What? Real quick.
Just
Spots, largemouth. Who
depends
beds
on the
first?
fish.
who beds first?
Go around the table and just
All right.
rapid fire.
There you go. Rapid fire, Blake. Who beds first? Spots or largemouth?
I was wanting to bring this up, but I have seen largemouth spawning in 3 foot of water and go right down the bank, and there'll be a 4 or 5 pound spot laying right beside it.
So same time to you.
I think same time on certain lakes.
I'm going to actually say it depends on what part of the lake.
What?
So
What's
if you're talking, the south end of Lanier,
Yeah.
I've seen some of those spots bed like I'm talking into
Super late.
June.
Really late.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I would say the largemouth, then the spots.
But mostly
if you
depending
go-
on the lake. Where you
So like Carter's, I've seen Carter's late May into June. I've seen them spawn there, that time of year. So I would definitely say largemouth before spots.
at? What's your experience?
March to June.
But what's
March
first
to
spots?
June.
March
doesn't
to
matter.
June. No, I'd say largemouth.
Largemouth are
I
always
think.
first.
You're
I feel like they're
largemouth?
the first ones to at least. spawn.
Yeah.
Okay. So
But the myth of spots always being deep, that's false. Like I've said,
Yeah, I mean, I've seen spots and with their backs almost out of
Yeah.
the water.
and Jacob
but-
didn't believe me until we started fishing a lot together.
I do
also.
believe, though, a general rule of thumb is your largemouth will pull up first.
Yes.
largemouth to pull up first, but I do believe in a general rule that the spots, on average, will bed deeper. On average, I'm not talking about each
Yeah.
individual fish.
Yeah,
Like you said, it's
yeah,
different, but on average, a spot they'll go 8-10 foot of water. They don't care.
Yeah,
Just-
They'll go
it,
deeper
well-
than
it also
that.
depends on whether the lake's
And-
going up and
Yeah,
down and that
yeah.
kind of.
Well, they just have to have enough light through that water column to get on that bed and create that hatch.
I truly believe that some spots don't personally bed. I truly do.
Well, I
On
think
Just don't bet at all,
On
just
the
there.
south end of Lanier, I really think that some of those bigger spots do not bed. I think that they
That's
just
an
stay
interesting
in the deep
theory. I hadn't
water.
heard that yet, but that's
I
interesting.
personally do.
What? Okay, let's start. We're gonna go back around this way. So, don't tell you what's your best, Chris. You're first. What is the best bait you're throwing at a bed fish that you're not gonna tell anybody about? Your next best bait if you're gonna tell your special.
I mean, it really depends on the fish. Honestly, that's the best answer I can give you. I like throwing something. I feel like
You're a high vis guy, though. I mean, you want to see it.
the fish react to those brighter colors. I
Mhm.
feel like they're already in that protective mode. They're reacting to those brighter baits. They're reacting to those brighter colors.
Mhm.
I've got a comment on that I seen
but,
this week when he gets done.
You know, and with that being said, I may pull up on a fish that swims off a bed
Mhm.
with that brighter color and throw a natural color back in there.
Makes sense. What about you? What's your go-to bait? You pull up on a big girl on bed.
Okay, so I've got a few, and I'll say I've got 3.
Okay.
And it also depends on the size of the fish.
Okay.
So if we're saying 4 pounds and under, I'm going to say either a Nico
Mm-hmm.
or actually a shaky head.
Okay.
It's very deadly. A lot of people just think that they've got to go the crawls, but you know, you get those smaller fish and they can't stand a shaky head. But anything bigger, I'm probably going to go with a tube.
A tube?
That's just, I've been doing that for years.
You like Cody? You stick an Alka-Seltzer in the back of it?
No,
Can't
definitely
do that.
don't.
Can't do that in turn.
If
If you're fun fishing, though,
I don't think you can do that. All right, what's your comment you said you were going to make on that?
All right, so my three bed baits. It's a tube, white tube, some type of crawl, white. That way I can see it, and swim jig. I like to throw a swim jig, especially since I've seen Millsap start throwing it. I caught a lot of fish on it the other day throwing one. A good thing about a swim jig, sometimes you can pull it. If you're throwing it down the bank, you'll have some fish follow it, and you can kind of predict where that bed is at, and you can kind of wait a minute or two and start looking down the bank and you see where that fish came from. You can do that with a swim bait also. But going back to the color, I believe it was Gerald Swindle that said it this week. He was talking about, early spring and stuff like that. Those fish are coming out of deeper water. They've been seeing a lot of deeper stuff. When they start seeing those brighter colors, it's an easier prey for them to see. And that came right out of Gerald Swindler's mouth. And I honestly believe that because, you got to think when it starts getting early spring and stuff like that, you're throwing a lot of yellows, a lot of reds, a lot of oranges and stuff like that. And it moves over to bed fishing also. There's been times that I've caught fish on a shaky head with a bright orange worm.
Gotcha.
Just to throw it out there.
I'm going to answer that, and then we're going to go to the next question. We're going to go back to you, Blake, and go back around that way. Now, I will say this as far as bed fishing. Everybody hears me talk about the Ned rig just because I think it's the small size of it does not spook them. It's not, But when we won the EBO tournament on Rocky 2 years ago, we were fishing with a Ned rig, but they weren't hitting the regular. It was one of those 2.5 inch, 2 3/4 inch Z crawls, small.
Yep.
But it was in a pumpkin with red flake. If it didn't have that red flake, they wouldn't touch it. For some reason, that red flake just made them mad. But now the one thing about the way I fish with that is finesse fishing. It ain't braid. So you can't just, if you're going to fish, if you're going to commit to throwing that in a bed, you can't just rear back and rock them on a Ned. You're going to bend the hook.
I'm going to say this, especially about the Z-Man Ned rigs. I love Z-Man soft plastics. When they say you can fish them all day and catch 100 fish on them, you can do that. But their mushroom shroom heads, if you set the hook too hard, you will bend that hook out or it will break that hook.
It's a very finesse hook.
I have lost many a fish by bent hooks or broke hooks. But going back to that
one. Okay.
Yeah, going back to that color that you were talking about, largemouth that are on bed, they hate a bluegill because bluegill want to come up and eat the eggs.
Right.
I have seen in many occasions, I'm sure every one of y'all have seen this. If there's a female or a buck on the bed, if there's a bluegill around, they're constantly running that bluegill off. If you can get something in there, say a jig that imitates a bluegill, a crawl that imitates a bluegill, and you can make it look live-like, they're going to eat it because they don't want their fry getting eaten.
So
Well, go ahead if you need to. Go ahead.
no, go ahead.
I was going to say a funny story. I heard one of the pros talking one time that he actually seen fish fending off turtles
Yes, I've seen that too.
bed fishing.
Really?
And
Okay.
he
That's
actually-
interesting.
That was Bill Lowen, correct? That melted his plastics down to make it look
Yeah,
like a
he
turtle.
melted the plastics down to make it look like a turtle.
Took a lighter to his plastics in the boat to make it look like a turtle.
And made it look like a turtle and was actually able to catch fish like that.
And I know people that throw. Actually, I think somebody makes a turtle.
Yeah,
It's out of
I've-
California.
I've seen several soft plastic turtles like
Yeah.
that. That's interesting.
So-
I never thought about it. I haven't seen that video.
I don't know why they get so aggressive with the turtle. I mean, you think a lot of the soft shelled turtles and stuff like that, I wouldn't think they'd eat bass fry. I could be totally wrong, but
it's more so the eggs.
yeah.
I think that turtles feed on any kind of fish.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
just they
Soft shell will eat anything
Yeah.
too close.
So for me, if I could give anybody any advice on it, it would be to spend time on the water this time of year.
absolutely.
Develop confidence in a bait, no matter what it is. Pick something up that you may already have confidence in. Get it in a brighter color. Have a brighter color.
Mhm.
Have a more natural color.
Yeah.
And fish what you have confidence in. That's the best.
I'll tell you the
advice.
baits that are on the deck of my boat right now. That's a jerk bait. I'm gonna have a wacky rig.
Yes.
A lot
absolutely.
of people say that you cannot catch those big cruising largemouth. Throw a wacky rig in front of it about 10 foot and just let it sink. That's all I'm gonna say.
weightless.
Weightless,
Yeah,
or
most
you
definitely.
can put a little
You
nail
can
weight
do it,
in
but
there to
little
make it sink.
Nico and all
do
that,
it.
but
Yeah.
weightless.
But
is-
I'm gonna have that jerk bait. I'm gonna have a wacky rig. I'll throw a swim bait, especially right now, because you'll have a couple post spawn fish that'll get up underneath, especially docks up here in North Georgia. There are a lot of floating docks. Those docks attain a lot of heat because they're black. You can throw you can throw a jerk bait down the side of them. You can throw a swim bait down the side of them. You're looking for that reaction strike. But when it comes to bed fishing, I'm throwing something white that looks like a crawl. Sometimes I'll throw that swim bait up in there. I've had a lot of success on throwing a swim bait up into a bed.
Yeah.
Especially, I'm gonna give a little secret: electric shad, something that looks like a blue heron, especially on these mountain reservoirs that have blue heron in it. Blue heron destroy bass nest. Also, they're fried. They eat them. I will give that
Makes
little
sense.
secret out there.
Makes sense. All right. So we're 2 hours in. About time to wrap it up on this Thursday night. Got a lot of fishing we got to do in the next 3 days. So
Me and you especially.
me and you
Fishing all
especially.
day tomorrow, fishing a tournament tomorrow night, then turn around and me and you're fishing again on Thursday.
That's right. And then I'll be fishing against Chris
On Saturday.
Saturday like that. So Chris, to wrap it up, I'm gonna bring you back. You have open mic. You can say anything. If you got anything to say about the elites for next year, feel free, or any advice on the bed fishing or this weekend coming up.
No, I mean, I'll go back to the elites.
Okay.
I just want to, first of all, thank everybody that's been involved, from our sponsors
Absolutely.
to our anglers. We have had a awesome year.
Mhm.
We've fished some tough weather, but that's what it takes to find out who's the best of the best.
That's right.
We've got a 3-way tie
right now. Yep.
for first place.
That's right.
Competition.
Yeah, it's tough.
That's
man.
what you like to
It's
see.
tough.
It's tough, in
Especially
that
in a
area.
club.
It's-
That's
it's
what you really
very
like to see.
tough.
And we've got a great group of anglers, and we're really looking forward to expanding that for the 2022, 2023, and so on and so
Who
forth.
knows? That's right.
As well as a great group of sponsors.
We definitely do. We have that. Absolutely. We mentioned all them earlier tonight. That is definitely good. Jacob, you got anything you want to throw out there before we? I know Chris and I took up a lot of the show talking about the elites, but if you maybe a little forecast for the upcoming weekend for somebody.
It's looking pretty clear. I think tomorrow night's about the only time they're forecasting rain.
Yeah, I think even that rain Saturday, even though we put it, it's kind of
It's
Iffy.
kind of an iffy deal.
right.
Are they talking
I
about
was-
maybe rain Saturday?
Yep.
Mhm.
Possibly.
Yes, sir.
I'll give you a little tip. If you're gonna go fishing, tie on a fluke
Yes.
Tie on a
They're
fluke.
eating flukes right now.
and don't get in a hurry. Just
Nah,
don't
that's
get in a
right.
hurry
I hate a
with it.
fluke.
Just
But slow it down. That's what
be
you say.
patient and I promise you'll catch a bunch of fish.
Top
I
water.
promise.
Top water.
Top water
water.
also. Yep.
Farmers starting to hit on them
Yes.
poppers. What about you, Blake?
Hey guys, I'm gonna tell you. Like I said, I did a lot of fishing this past weekend. Like I said, I hit Hartwell this weekend. I hit Lanier. I hit a couple of farm ponds that I have around the house. It's good everywhere. I mean, get out, get your kids out, enjoy the time of year because
Amen.
the fishing isn't going to be like this in another month and a half. It's going to start getting hot. They're going to start moving deeper. I mean, the time to get out and just go catch a ton of fish and have a lot of fun is right now. I mean, from bed fishing to top water to dock fishing. I mean, it's all on fire right now. Like Jacob said, you can take a fluke right now and start skipping docks. You're going to get bit. You can look for bed fish, catch them that way. You can go out on points throwing jerk baits and crank baits and worms, and you can catch a lot of spots doing that. It's the fishing right now all over North Georgia and even South Georgia. I talked to Dalton Tankersley. He just got done finished with his BFL. He cashed a check. They're spawning down there, plus they're post spawn. The fishing is good everywhere right now. If you just want to get out and go have a good time this month, and I'd say until about the middle of next month before everything starts moving deep, it's the time right now.
And don't limit yourself to just bass because crap your own bed. You're gonna have your bluegill,
Yep.
big shell cracker moving up. I don't know what catfish do, but I imagine they bed
The
too.
fishing is good everywhere right now. I mean, my parents, they went out Saturday on Lanier and they were dragging big bass minnows around marker poles, catching good striper.
Mhm.
You know, not the big ones like you're used to seeing on Lanier, but I mean, good
fun fish though.
Yeah,
Fun
5 to
fish.
10 pound stripers. You know, take you some 10-pound tests on an open reel, turn the drag
Take
down,
a
and
kid out.
have
That's-
fun.
That's it.
That's
That,
perfect
absolute
for a
blast.
kid.
that is perfect, kid.
But I mean, it's just great everywhere right now. Like I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm hitting Chattooga, tournament fishing tomorrow on Lanier, and then tournament fishing Thursday on Lanier. So I'm
We're gonna have a
looking
good
forward to it.
time.
It's
Yeah,
gonna be
so
a good
it's
time.
gonna be a good time. So
I'm gonna try to put this man on a winning bag. Maybe he can actually see what a winning
we'll
bag
see what
looks
we
like.
can do Thursday. We'll see, young buck.
It's gonna be a good time no matter what, though.
Absolutely. So yeah, guys, listen, I can echo everything everybody said as far as the elites. Again, we want you to become part of what we're trying to build. Don't second guess yourself. Apply. You never know, but we want to build the organization even bigger to encompass basically like we're building Fish North Georgia here is built on a community. We're taking that same mindset to the tournament guys. We treat the high and the low the same. It doesn't matter. That's the way we are with that.
I do want to put this little plug in for 2 of the companies that we carry here. That would be the FX rods.
Yep.
The other day on Hartwell, I took off a braid reel that I usually flip with on a big flipping stick, and I put it on my 7.2 jig rod from FX. Bed fished with it all day. You want to talk about a good feeling rod, and it's easy to flip, easy to get it maneuverable. Bed fishing, it's a science. You know, you got to make the right pitch. You got to get it in certain areas
Right.
and everything. That 7.2 medium heavy jig rod from FX, it's amazing. And also Trickster, their flukes. I fished a Trickster fluke a lot. Missed a lot of fish on it because I hate fishing a fluke, but they were tearing their Trickster
They were
flukes
hitting
up.
it.
So guys, seriously, if you're in the market for a great rod, come up here, check out the FX custom rods. I know Danny don't care if you pick them up and hold them.
I don't. I'm not.
Take it from example from guys that are really fishing it, guys. You know, I've bought duckets, I've bought the quantums, I've bought the skeet reeses. I thought skeet reese was the best thing out there. Now I'm wanting to fill my boat full of the FX customs. I'm absolutely in love with their rods.
Well, thinking they're great rods. I switched everything over to FX, not because they sponsored the elites, but because after fishing a couple of them, I'm like, I want these rods. So
They're
same
amazing.
thing.
The
They're very
sensitivity
good.
and everything is amazing. on the
And
rods.
great price points. Now, again, I want to thank Chris, not only for putting up with me this past Saturday as a fishing partner.
How'd that go, Chris?
Honestly,
Was he
Yes.
aggravating?
No,
He
we
was
had a
laughing
great
the whole time.
We had a great time.
What was you
seriously.
laughing at him for?
What? No, we
I'm
were
a
just
funny
cutting
dude.
up. We
Oh, I know
cutting
you're a
up.
funny dude. I bet I'd like to
we
have
had
seen
to
a
be
camera in
funny
that
because
boat all day.
it was so daggone windy and rainy. I mean, you
Yeah.
couldn't do nothing.
Because the way I see it, you got the hammer and you got the comedian.
No,
That
no,
would've been-
I'd say that.
No,
Oh,
seriously, because
Listen.
Danny's a funny guy, and Chris, I know how you take fishing seriously,
But
man. I'd love
he
to
was
see
trying.
some
Listen,
video.
he was trying to explain that Garmin to me.
Yeah.
and I was like getting vertigo.
How'd
going.
you like it? Because that's the first time you've
I didn't know
watched
what
it,
the
right?
hell I was looking at.
But that's the first time you've dealt with it, right?
Absolutely. He was like,
What
he
did
goes,
you think?
Well, I think
You've got all these people. Oh, it's bull crap. You don't need that. What did you think for your
I will
first
say
experience?
this. I will say this for my first experience. Number one, you got to know how to read it.
Yep.
and that requires experience.
Yep.
I did
Because
call a few shots.
you called a few shots. Chris goes, that's a fish right there, and that's what it looks like. And I've been looking at it. I'm like, looks like static.
Been there, done that
Like,
with mine.
I don't know what
Yep.
you're looking at, but it looks like a bunch. But
Yeah.
but he would say that fish is swimming away from me.
Yep.
Or that fish, and I'm like, it was actually that part's pretty cool.
Mhm.
But if you think you're going to go buy one, stick it on your boat, and become Kevin Van Dam tomorrow,
So you've
No.
you've seen the process where
You gotta-
know when it's time to leave those fish because they ain't gonna bite, and sometimes you can pull up and you know when they are gonna bite.
yeah. I mean, I was learning
That's
that.
all that matters because there's a lot of people that are like, oh, you can see those fish; they're always gonna bite.
No, it wasn't like that.
does
But I
not
will
work
say
that
this:
way.
I'd see him, and I'll answer that question. I'd see Chris all of a sudden throw 10 degrees back this way. I'm like, the hell's he throwing at? He goes, it's right there.
Yeah.
It's right there. Now, I ain't gonna say he caught every time,
Yeah.
but he did catch some from
Yeah.
calling the shot, like you were saying. So that was interesting.
Yeah.
What time does the shop open? Generally, if I'm here,
If there's a black Ford Ranger,
if there's
stop
a
on
Black
by.
Ford Ranger, that's what time the shop opens. You can always text me at 678-283-6700. Generally 9 to 5, somewhere in that range. We don't have set hours until we officially open. I know that sounds crazy, but
Danny likes to sleep in.
I try to take some naps on the couch upstairs too. And you people come in the middle of the day, you're killing me. Actually, tomorrow I'll be open. I'll be open tomorrow 9 to about 3.
Like I said, guys, tomorrow 5 to 9. If you're interested, get on our group page. Fill out your spot so that way we know you're going to come. Don't fill out a spot if you're not going to come. We want anglers that are actually dedicated. I'd like to see it grow. If it gets bigger, like I said, we might try to push for some permits. It's going to be broadcasted live the way in. Come have a good time. Me and Danny's going to be there.
Do we have
So-
service at Little Hall? Is service
Yeah,
pretty good at Little Hall?
service is
Okay,
great at
all right,
Little
so that's
Hall.
good. So, all right, so we'll definitely do that.
Between Little Hall and War Hill, I'm pretty sure if we ever switch boat ramps to War
And
Hill,
even if
the
you ain't
service is
fishing, just
good.
come up there and see us about 9,
Yeah,
9:30.
if you wanna come hang out.
Yeah, if you want to come,
We'll have a
this
good
way.
time. We'll basically do the exact same thing we're doing here.
5 fish.
What time you need to show up tomorrow? You need to be. I'd say you want to be
Probably
ready to
4:30.
blast off
Be ready to blast
at
off
5
at
o'clock.
5 o'clock.
So have your boat in.
Yeah.
He's all electric. You can't.
He's all electric. You're like me.
Get
I
ready
mean,
to.
Buzz
all right,
off.
we're gonna
Buzz
buzz off no later than 5
Yeah,
o'clock. So
me and Jacob will probably be at the ramp. I'd say.
yeah, I can be there at 9 in the morning if I need to.
Nah, me and
4:30.
Jacob.
I can't. I gotta do some stuff here.
Me and
so.
Jacob will probably be there by at least 4 o'clock. I'm gonna take everybody's name down. I'm gonna put the weights down, and probably Thursday night. If we do something Thursday night, I'll call out all the weights and everything with everybody who fishes.
Tim Wyatt, you're too funny, man. I ain't gonna read that. So I love you guys. All right, listen. So all right. So Thursday night. I know we all got to go home, man. I'm old. I need to get to sleep. I got to put that old CPAP to work.
5 o'clock comes early.
It does come early. Do any of you guys sleep with CPAP?
No.
I'm too young
I
for that.
need it.
Let me tell you something. I got on that thing. That is it is the best thing in the world. It's the god awfulest thing in the world. Too. About the middle of the
My
night.
dad sleeps in one every morning. He comes in.
I
when
see.
I'm
I can
over
tell
at the
when- I
house,
can tell when Daddy's
comes
working
around,
'cause he does
comes
that.
around that mask. I've seen Dad come down to the store some mornings, and it's like he just
I
rolled
know
out of
he just
bed,
woke
and
up
you
out
can
of bed.
you can still see his little mask.
He's
shaking
like,
around his
you
mouth.
just got out of bed.
Yeah.
Got hair all messed up. He's got
He's
the
like,
lines.
no, I didn't. You can see his little.
I got. I'm trying to learn how to wear one of them things. So, but it's different. But anyway, so all right, listen. Thursday night, Jeremiah Giles is going to be back in studio. We're going to talk more specific things on big swim bait, stuff like that, and we're going to concentrate on doing it from the bank. Of course, that's his specialty. So you guys make sure you tune in on that, and we'll recap.
I guess we'll recap our day. if I'm
Recap
here.
the day. Yeah, we'll recap the tournament, the Hammond's digital tournament, and even this Wednesday nighter, and all kinds of things. But again, listen, guys, Electric Elite. Hey, any questions? Hit me or Chris up. We'll be glad to answer them. We appreciate you guys spending your time, your well-deserved time off by actually watching us. If you knew how much it actually really meant to me, I'd probably start crying. But I don't seriously. I ain't gonna do that. Not it's just it's the drinks. But seriously, no, we appreciate it. There's a million things you can do. You're here with us. We love you. We thank you, and we look forward to seeing you Thursday night. You guys be safe and tight lines. Thanks.
Thank you all.